What's good, everybody? Q and Colb here, back at it again with another episode of the pod, man. We got the combine coming up. We got free agency, man. It's right around the corner for the NFL. What, 2 weeks away?
Yeah, 2 weeks away.
March 13th. March 13th. A lot of stuff's gonna happen around that time. We also have the Cavs to talk about, the best team now in the NBA, the best record in the NBA at the very least, because Oklahoma City. Did you see that they blew a 22-point lead in the fourth quarter?
Yes, they did. I think it was 20. I actually think it was like 26 points.
Bro, to Minnesota.
Hey, listen, bro.
Rudy. Who else were they missing? They were missing Rudy and
Julius Randle obviously hasn't been playing in a while.
Randle, he been awesome.
And then White Dante.
Oh, White Dante wasn't there?
White Dante ain't played in months.
Yeah, I was interested to see. I didn't realize just how negative the NBA community is on the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, they definitely got the foul grifter tag. And the hacker tag. So what Chris Finch said was, it's real frustrating playing them because they foul you constantly, but they don't always call it. And then on the flip side, on top of that, you can't touch SGA. Oh, so they fouling you, but if you try to play defense on him, they call fouls, and then it's just like, okay.
So they've slid it into a similar place where like the James Harden Rockets used to land, where like they were really good, but nobody liked them.
Something like that.
That's crazy. We have seen a change of perspective for a couple of teams in the NBA. The New York Knicks are fascinating to me because on one hand, I think they're better than they were last year, but they are just such a lesser threat this year to get out the East than they were last year.
I don't think they're better than they were last year.
You think they were better last year?
I think they're better last year. I think
they mattered.
I think when they traded for Cat. And this isn't about Cat specifically. It's really not. No, we can't. We can't make it about Cat. You don't even hate Cat because he's not in Minnesota. You don't even hate Cat because he's not in Minnesota anymore.
Well, the thing about Cat though is like it's an unfortunate thing that follows him, but like whatever team he's on, outside of last year where I think people took the Timberwolves relatively serious, he ends up in these situations where these squads are pretty good, but like for whatever reason during the regular season, you get a reason not to take them serious come spring.
Well, the Knicks have two problems to me. First and foremost, this is something they can control. Tom Thibodeau is running that team to the ground. Like he's already ran them into the ground, bro. When they played the Cavs, they actually put the average minutes for the starting lineup. The Cavs are at like 28.
Cole, did you see what their minutes were on the day before that game? On the back,
yeah, they were up.
The Cavs were like 4 minutes. No starter for the Cavs played over 30 minutes the night before, right?
Every starter for the Knicks played over 40.
Plus somebody on the bench.
He's running that team into the ground, dude. I'm like, bro, there's no way they're okay. But do you know what the funny thing is about it though? If you talk to people about Tibbs, they say everybody loves him. They would die for that man.
Yeah, because they get to play.
Yeah, but there's a line though. Like there's a line between like, yeah, these are your guys, you're rolling with your guys, and you go whatever happens is with them. I get that. But come on, bro.
Well, there's also a thing to it. Hey man, you can't be out there asking people to play 38 minutes a game and be an asshole. Right? Like that is not gonna work in today's NBA, right? Like you gotta be likable to act something like that out of today's NBA players. Like it's not like George Karl, My Way or the Highway. You could be a jerk. Everybody on podcasts talk about how they hate you for the next 10 years. Like now you gotta figure it out. The one thing I thought that was interesting with Tibbs is that is successful as he's been in his career. I think he's only missed the playoffs 4 times. Right, in his entire head coaching career.
I think so.
We never talk about the fact that like he has not had breakthrough success in terms of like getting to an NBA finals. And I wonder if this is the year where people are going to finally start talking about, hey, man, the way Tibbs plays them. And like, I think there's some conversation of it right now online. But like the larger narrative about Tibbs is that he's still like a really good coach. He's going to raise your floor. We haven't really talked about how he raises your floor is also how he lowers your ceiling.
Yeah, because these dudes, by the time you get to the playoffs, these dudes are done. Like you noticed like the injuries are starting to pile up before they even get to the postseason because their starters are averaging 38 minutes a game, which is ridiculous. Like it's just like it's stupid, bro. Like it's stupid that you would play them that much this early.
Well, and it's like what makes it even worse is that the contrast between how many minutes the Celtics have to play their starters to win games, the Cavs have to play their starters to win games, and Oklahoma City has to play their starters to win games is significant, right? Like it's like a 8-minute per star player difference. That's a whole rotational. Like that. You take 2 of Tibbs starters, it's a whole player on the bench rotation. Like that's all of fucking Sam Merrill's minutes in the regular season per game. And that matters, right? Because what we see with the Cavs is Donovan Mitchell doesn't have to carry the team every night like he used to. So on a night where you're playing, what we were playing, was it Memphis? Donovan Mitchell can go out and give you a 27-point first half. Easy money, right? Without even really like breaking a sweat because he doesn't have to do that every night. And the Cavs were able to beat a good a good Memphis Grizzlies team while they shot like ass. And that's one of the biggest questions about the Cavaliers, right? People always ask us, what happens if the threes don't drop with them? They shot 29% and they were in control of that game the whole time.
Funny thing, I went to that game. I watched that game live with my guy, Mac Robinson. We was in the building watching. No, yeah, it was my fault. Wait, no, funny. We said this before the game. I was like, "Hey, I've been to 2 games. First game was the Pacers game. They lost at home. And then this is the second game I went to.
We bad luck. We can't. I went to the Atlanta Hawks game in Atlanta. Like,
you know what I'm saying? I was like,
bad luck. We can't be there in person, dog.
I said, if they lose this game, to the Grizzlies, that's my confirmation that I am a jinx and I cannot go to the games anymore. Like, I'm not gonna do it. But when I was watching the game, bro, that first half, they shot I think they shot 15% from 3 and they had a lead.
They didn't make a 3 from outside of Donovan Mitchell. They didn't make a single 3 until Max Strus made that last second half shot. That buzzer beater.
Evan Mobley was 1 for 8 from 3 in that game. 1 for 8.
He had a couple long twos, to be fair to Evan, but yeah, he shot terribly. I like that he kept shooting though.
I was about to say, you know what? I was like, you know what? Normally that would piss me off, but there was 2 reasons why I wasn't mad. One, he needs to keep shooting them. You know what I'm saying? Like you need he was over 40% for like the longest part of the year. He had the calf injury and then he came back and then like it hasn't really been the same since. You could tell when he was shooting the shots, like he was trying to find it again.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to find, like he's trying to get in his rhythm again.
He was thinking about it.
He was thinking about it, but he was still shooting him, and I appreciate the fact that he still kept shooting him. But the second thing is this. This is what me and Mac were talking about as soon as we left the game. Bro, he's so much better than Jaren Jackson Jr. He's so much better than Jaren Jackson Jr. I do not know how you can watch them play basketball.
And it's not like Jaren Jackson is bad, right?
He's not bad. He's a good player. He's a good player. He's a good basketball player. I'm not trying to take that from him.
Evan is just so much more capable, right?
He's so much better, bro. He's so much better.
Yeah, and like the bag is evolving offensively. Remember, we used to get excited about them Evan Mobley 20-point games, dog. One of them shits can happen. I'll forget about it now because he's had so many of them where it's like, oh yeah, Evan got 20. Cool. Well, he had 28 and 13.
No, he had, I think it was 25.
No, 28.
28?
Yeah, I think it was close to 30.
I think it was 25. I don't think it was 28.
Let's look it up. If we could. If Curtis, could you look that up? His box score versus
it was 25. 25, 10 of 20 from the field, 1 for 8 from 3. 1 for 8 from 3. 13 rebounds, 8 assists. He's still shooting 36.5%.
That's crazy.
From 3.
Yeah.
That's still good, even with the 1 for 8.
Hey, look, man, just shoot through it. Shoot through it. This is the luxury of the Cavs being as ridiculously good as they are right now. Yeah, you can shoot through it, Evan. One for 8. Like you can shoot.
Still shooting 57% from the field overall.
Can we talk? Hey, bruh, Evan Mobley went up. He didn't make it, but it's one of the things where you see Evan do it, and you're like, well, that's gonna be good in a year, right? And he went up, round, back up like Darius Garland, and then finger rolled that bitch off the glass. And I was like, he could do that? Like that? That's something he can attempt and miss?
Bro, he did a Euro layup on Jaren Jackson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And he scored, and he jumped up and down after he scored because he was like,
yeah. Look, you know Evan about to do some crazy shit when you hear, like he got that signature yell where I'm like, oh shit, and here we go. Like, did you see the one where he got the rebound, heamed behind the back, and it just slammed? I'm like, oh my God, he is what we dreamed.
No, he had a play in that game against the Nets where he was driving, where he drove and he did a spin and he just like casually like crammed that bitch like from behind his head. I was like, yo, when he started doing this, bro, like when did he start doing this?
Yeah, like the Cavs beat the Memphis Grizzlies on an awful shooting night with Darius Garland out. And it didn't look particularly difficult for them to do.
They've separated themselves. I'm so serious, bro. Like they've separated themselves from everybody in the East, not named the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are clearly better than the rest of those teams. Like clearly better than the rest of those
teams. I look at the standings and I'm like, Boston Cavs, whoever wins that series feels like the NBA champion. Like, I think other teams can throw a monkey wrench into that, but right now it's like maybe you can factor Oklahoma City into it. I think people have, I think people have concerns about them, but like I look at it, I'm like, it feels like 3 teams, right, that can win the finals this year or should win the finals. It feels like it's between those 3 squads, and like it's not a coincidence that the Cavs have hit this gear where like even when they like usually when you shoot this bad, you lose by 10 and we're on the pod talking about some y'all need to stop fucking overreacting. Like they shot 25%, right? Like they were able to win that game easy. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it's right after the DeAndre Hunter trade, right? Where you get DeAndre Hunter and then all of a sudden the Cavs like go on this run. Like I think the first 3-4 games they played with DeAndre, they went up by 20 at some point in the game against these teams. Like, well, I think where it was the biggest contrast where it was like, oh shit, like this is gonna work really well. With some of these lineups they threw at the Knicks, where I'm like, oh, they're just longer than them. Like they can't like that Dean Wade, DeAndre Hunter, Donovan Mitchell lineup
with Evan.
Yeah, with Evan. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay.
I think it was Donovan. I think it was Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac was out there too. Sometimes they flip Isaac and sometimes it's Ty Jerome because they're both big guards.
Yeah, so I think it was Donovan, Isaac, Dean Wade, DeAndre Hunter, and Evan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, that's probably their best defensive lineup they can put out that doesn't just completely destroy the offense.
Yeah, and
Okoro's the weak link there, but he can make threes. But
you think it'll probably be Strus in the playoffs other than Okoro? Because Okoro ain't even been playing good defense since he's come back.
Well, they did get Javonte too.
And
I wonder I wonder how that factors in. I wonder if like having him, I think he's the one who takes Sam Merrill's spot in rotation. I
feel like, but my theory with him is he's the guy who's going to make sure you don't ever have to play Jalen Tyson in the playoffs. No disrespect.
That's it. But I think I would add Sam into that too. No disrespect to Sam, because Sam is a knockdown shooter.
Sam might be useful. Like I thought they should have put Sam in versus Memphis because like there was a point where the Cavs realized how bad they were shooting and they were like hesitating to shoot everything.
They did.
Like,
they put him in there.
Yeah, like put Sam in there, put Max Strus in there because them motherfuckers don't ever think about it. Like Max Strus will shoot some shit from fucking half court.
Max Strus is the most frustrating player on the Cavs because, and I promise you, I watched him do this. They passed him the ball. He's wide open.
And then he passes it up.
No, wide open three. Didn't just pass it up. Didn't shoot it. Starts dribbling around. Step back, shoots a three, just completely breaks it. I'm like, bro, why would you not just shoot the shot that was open? Like that's the entire Max Strus. Well, that's not the entire Max Strus experience, but that's the part of the Max Strus experience that pisses me off watching them. Like I hate that.
Look, somebody had to take George Niang's spot as Colb's least favorite player on this Cavs team. Because you know what? No, I can live with it with his Max Strus because he makes those enough to where I'm like, all right, man. Like Max Strus will have like a random 5 of 8 game, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, Max. Like I'll deal with the once a month. You give me the Max Strus bullshit game. When it's George Niang and your defensive liability, and you be going 1 of 9 a lot, like okay, like that's where. And we got to play you as a big, like it just. So I'm more willing to deal with the Max Strus goofiness. But yeah, DeAndre Hunter, having him there because you can play him at 4, you can play him at 3. He's a legitimate wing. I like how they're bringing him off the bench. I know people were losing their freaking mind about that on social media. That DeAndre was coming up. It's like, how have we not had this conversation where it's like, hey, dog, he gonna play 35 minutes in the playoffs. What the fuck are we concerned about?
Like, the reason you can't start, I tweeted this, but the reason that you cannot start him is because you need a secondary playmaker. Yeah. And the one thing that this to me is Max Strus's most valuable skill as a basketball player and for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He legitimately is a good playmaker. Mm-hmm. Specifically for bigs, like specifically for Allen and for Evan.
Yeah,
he gets them easy shots. Yeah,
if you're gonna play both of those bigs on the floor at the same time, you need to have that, right? Like to be
you need the connector. You need the connector, and he's the connector. And I don't think DeAndre Hunter can do that. What DeAndre Hunter's good at is he defends well. He D'd up Ja in that Memphis game where it was just ISO. It was just him and Ja went nowhere.
Yeah,
like nowhere.
Long.
Yeah, like Ja went nowhere, and they got nothing out of that possession because he was just like, oh, I can't do nothing. And he's a knockdown 3-point shooter.
And like what I liked a lot about seeing him, Evan, and Dean Wade on the floor at the same time is like, okay, now Evan's free to do like more defense.
Yeah.
Right. Because now they're not worried about who's going to take what switch. They could just switch whatever they want freely in that corner. And it's harder to just try to like get the ball, isolate a single defender there. So, yeah, I really like what they have there. Dean Wade still remains important, but I don't think you need Dean Wade to score because because DeAndre is also a pretty good scorer with the basketball. Has a little bit of like a create game. He can shoot off the dribble a little bit. He can get his own shot a little bit, but the spot up 3-point shooting is exactly what you thought it was going to be.
It's better than you thought it was going to be. Yeah. Way better. Like he came. I think he's shooting. I don't know what he's shooting since he's been in the Cavs, but I know it's way over 40.
Oh yeah, it's been pretty good. So yeah, that one. It's crazy how that one trade. And then just like a buyout deal completely flips the math and I'm excited for this game Friday against the Celtics because like that's the main thing that you want to see. And I know people are looking at it like, oh, is he going to lock up Jason Tatum? I expect none of that. Like Jason Tatum won't get his, right? I don't think
he's not locking up. No, he's not locking up him or Jaylen Brown. What you want them to do is to be able to make them work because the way that the team has been structured and constructed, and what they had, the lineups that they had to play against the Celtics with like George Niang, and they had to play Sam and all these dudes that you could exploit defensively if you're the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? Like all these, they had to play these dudes that they knew were gonna get, we're gonna get fried because it's the Celtics and the Celtics are good, but they don't have to play those dudes anymore. You know what I'm saying? That I think that's what helps them the most. Like you don't have to put George Niang out there for 20 minutes and watch him just get destroyed by whoever the Celtics have out there.
And another element of that is because you have that extra length on the court, what Boston would do, because like every game they played them, Boston has gone up by 20, right? And the way they've done is they go on these crazy like rebounding spells versus the Cavs, where the Cavs just get out rebounded for a quarter or for a long stretch. And the way they do that is just, hey, look, we have bigs that can space you, bring you to the perimeter. We're going to move Evan out from the perimeter or bring Garrett to the perimeter. And then it's just going to be our wings on your guards that you're trying to play as wings. And we're going to get every rebound or every ricochet off the hoop and create all these opportunities, which Boston's hard enough to beat when you rebound against them. If you don't rebound against Boston the way they can shoot, they're going to kill you. So that's been like, I think the biggest problem the Cavs have had against Boston is like, can they stop that from happening? DeAndre Hunter on the floor, and especially if you have like Dean Wade there. I mean, they literally did that to Memphis in the third quarter of the last game they played against them, where they had all that length out there. And it's like, oh, we just getting extra shots after extra shots. And like, we missed like 3 times on one possession and still got a bucket, right? Still got some free throws because we were able to just out rebound them. That's what I think is going to be interesting to see is like, okay, now that we don't have to worry about being completely outmatched size-wise and Al Horford being able to bring your bigs away or Kristaps being able to bring your bigs away from the hoop, can we rebound in those situations to keep pace? Because I think if you keep pace with Boston rebounds-wise, you don't let them get those second chance opportunities. The Cavs have proven that they can play with Boston and beat Boston in those situations because they've won one of those games, even though they did get out rebounded for like a pretty big stretch and went down a lot in one of those games. So I think when you even that playing field a little bit, Boston all of a sudden becomes a lot more beatable because the main way they have to exploit you is just less effective. So that's what I'm excited to see is like, hey, are we going to get one of those spills? Is Kristaps healthy right now?
Yes.
Evan, I'm gonna need you to get a healthy 25. I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need it before the playoffs. It's a healthy 25, right?
That's
like,
hey, listen,
that's also right another thing, right?
That's the matchup right there. I've said this a billion times. I've seen Evan struggle against one player all year, consistently. Like struggle against one player. It's Kristaps. Like that's it. When Kristaps is in the game, that man is thinking about the fact that Kristaps is in the game the entire time.
You think there's the one guy in the league that's longer than him?
And Kristaps can move. That's the thing.
Kristaps is kind of like, well, he's a different player than Evan, but like similar unicorn type 7-footers with super long length, right?
Kristaps can actually move around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen Evan go up against Rudy, who's just as long as
no,
Kristaps.
it's food.
You know what I'm saying?
It's food.
but he was cooking Rudy though. You see what I'm saying? He's cooking Rudy. But with Kristaps, it's like, yeah, like I can move as well as you. You see what I'm saying? And I'm long, and I'm bigger, and I'm longer than you.
Yeah, and it's not like if he goes up against Chet where he's got the strength advantage against a Chet, right? Or Wemby.
I'm really disappointed we didn't get to see
Chet out
Evan
there
versus Chet and Evan versus Wemby. I'm disappointed we didn't get to see that because those are the dudes that he gonna have to outplay for the years to come. You know what I'm saying? But Kristaps to me is like the first real challenge. And he gonna have to figure out, like, he'll have to figure it out. He's gonna figure out a way to score.
Hey, bro, here's what you got to do: just get to the foul line, right? Like, just move through. You're not gonna finish a lot of your shots. Just try to get them in foul trouble, right? For the time being, because face-up wise, it's a tough proposition versus Kristaps, right? Post game wise, even tougher. So, like, I would just try to
figure it out.
Yeah,
I gotta figure it out. Whatever it is, he got to come up with a solution. He got to come up with a solution quick.
Yeah,
what he's gonna do.
Kenny's got to do something too to help him out there too. But yeah, he's got to figure it out because we need him to get his numbers versus Boston. This casting is interesting, right? Because like, let's say right now, if you had to project, and let's say the Cavs won the NBA Finals, I don't think there's an obvious Finals MVP on this team where I'm like, okay, for the Cavs to win, this guy has to be playing at a super high level, because I could see it where it could go to Evan, Donovan. Obviously, you could see it. It could be one of them series where somebody gets like an Iggy MVP, like Jared Allen gets an Iggy MVP or something like that, because you do go up against Chet and he does well against Chet or something like that. Like, I can see this thing going a lot of different ways. By the way, Jared Allen's perimeter defense has just gotten way better this season. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, he's always been able to do it, but he be locked in.
No, he be locked in more. I'm like, oh, bro, he was out there against a guard. Like, usually we don't let that one happen.
Him and Evan both can do that though.
Yeah, Evan's always been able to do it, but I'll be watching. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna let Jared do it. And I was like, oh, he's okay, never mind. Jared can do it. My bad.
Nah.
Like, the development of Jared Allen since that lights is too bright meme, I feel like it's gone under the radar because he's added to his game offensively a little bit. It's nothing like crazy. He's not going to average 20 or nothing like that. But he does have a more consistent finish game where he doesn't just have to get all of his points off putbacks. Like he can actually bring the ball down and make a move with it, right? Or make somebody miss around the hoop. And I think he's gotten a lot stronger, a lot tougher, like as far as rebounding goes.
He's had some more, I don't know if you noticed, but he's had some more drives where they give him the ball a little bit further out and he'll drive the ball and just straight up dunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like they try to get him a running start at the basket, and he gets a running start at the basket and literally just dunks on people.
He Yeah, disgusting.
Ja gave him a hug.
Ja gave him a hug. He's like, my bad. Like, I tried it. Like,
he was like, you got me. You got me.
I tried it. Like, my bad. Got to be the worst feeling in the world as a guard if you go up and then you hear, boom, oh, and then you hear the whistle. Oh, it's the worst. You got to stand there and watch this man make a free throw after he embarrassed you. Like,
I feel like it's not that embarrassing as a guard because you already know you at a disadvantage regardless.
Well, see, there's two schools of thought because, yeah, you're at a disadvantage, but you usually don't end up down there. So it's more noteworthy, right, with his job. We gonna remember Ja. If it's another big, like I just see Jarrett dunk on Rudy so many times, and it don't even matter. Go like Rudy always get dunked on.
No, but see, that's more embarrassing. That's more embarrassing because y'all the same size. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the same size. That's more embarrassing.
Now, if you're bigger,
in Rudy's case, he's actually bigger. He's actually bigger than Jarrett, so that's embarrassing.
Which is why Karl Anthony Towns has had the time that he's had, right? Because he is bigger than most of these dudes, and sometimes, you know, Karl can get back. Timothy Mozgov used to get it the worst.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. His big ass used to go up every time, and he's going. Was it Blake Griffin?
Yeah, Blake Griffin got crazy. Blake got crazy.
But dog, Mozgov was an adjective for like 3 years because of that dunk.
Blake got everybody crazy though, because he got Powell crazy. He got Kendrick Perkins crazy.
Oh my god. Oh
my
god.
He got a couple. Him and DeAndre.
Nobody was putting bodies on posters like Blake Griffin. Like Fat Head blew up because of Blake Griffin. Like that. Like I don't think people will understand how Blake was just getting bodies on bodies on bodies on a weekly basis.
Man, his rookie year.
Oh yeah, Taper Blake.
His rookie year, cooking.
Yeah,
cooking.
Yeah. And the thing with Blake was like he was like 6'5".
Blake was not 6'5", bro.
He was like 6'6", 6'5", right? He was undersized for a
He like 6'9".
Blake is not 6'9". Is he 6'9"?
Yeah, he like 6'8", 6'9".
No way. I could have sworn he was undersized. Oh, 6'9". I'm wrong.
Yeah. Like, there's no way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Zion like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, but Zion ain't doing what Blake used to do.
Man, like, he could if he stayed healthy.
Yeah, he could. He could, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like Blake Griffin gonna be like Sean Kemp, where you had to see it, right, to understand why we like, like Blake Griffin got a commercial dunking chicken nuggets into sauce, and I can see some people be like, why Blake in the commercial? I'm like, because he dunking. That's why. Okay. He's dunking, and there's somebody 30 years old in that office like, he dunking shit? Blake Griffin. Like,
these young punks don't know shit about shit, man.
Right. Was a Meek Mill with the bar, slam dunking that Blake Griffin that hoe? Like, yes. Yeah, man. You slam your door. All right, Blake Griffin. Like, it just was synonymous with slamming things very hard. And then DeAndre Jordan, poor Brandon.
Poor Brandon Knight. Poor Brandon Knight.
Brandon Knight had a rough go of it because like he got dunked on, and then Kyrie broke his ankles at the Rising Stars, man.
Same year, I believe. Same year.
Chris Webber was on the call making it worse. Oh
man, I know we hated you.
Like KD and LeBron were in the audience. It was the worst time to get shook.
I know people hate C-Web, but when something crazy happens, C-Web was the best, dog.
C-Web do commentary like he got his phone out, bro. Like he was like, oh shit.
Oh man. You know why I like C-Web?
I had to get up.
You know why I like C-Web? Because when he would be on TNT with Shaq, because you know how Shaq trying to like go at everybody about not winning.
Yeah.
You know how he always go and check about not winning. It was like he was like, man, C-Web, you ain't even know one. You ain't never won nothing. He was like, yeah, because the refs cheated for you. I was like, and Shaq ain't say shit.
Okay. Jimmy.
He said, I have a ring too. I have a ring too if the rest ain't cheap for you.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I was like, yeah, he's not wrong. He's probably not wrong.
You know, it's bad where everybody, like, there are two things that I have like seen this reaction to where one group does another one dirty and people go, yeah, we understand. Right, that is Laker fans with Sacramento fans about that specific conference finals. Where I'm like, I run into so many Laker fans. They're like, yeah, we kind of snuck that one. Like, we stole that one straight up. My bad, dog. Y'all can be mad about that one. Like, to a T, almost every Laker fan I've ever read into is like, nah, they can have that one. The other one is literally the most wild example, which is Japanese people about what they were doing in World War II. And I'm like, yeah, every single one of them knows they was wilding. Those are the only two where I'm like, people be like, yeah, man, we was tripping. So that's how bad the refs screwed Sacramento.
Only thing I push back on, we weren't aware.
Y'all didn't pay them, right? Like, but y'all benefited.
No, we absolutely benefited. I'm not gonna deny that. I'm not gonna deny that. We might have got away with one. You know what I'm saying? We might have got away with one. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean two.
One, don't do that. We got away with one.
Well, I mean, it was more than one game.
We got away with one series. You know what I'm saying? We got away with one series. If you want to put the little asterisk on that title, if you want to do that, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Not because we beat, who was it, the Nets that year? I think it's the Nets that year.
Oh, yeah. Don't nobody remember the Nets made the finals.
Yeah. We're not talking about the actual finals, but that Western Conference Finals, you know what I'm saying? It's a little tainted. Might be a little tainted.
I always think it's interesting when you get one of those NBA seasons that kind of like climax before the NBA finals.
There's been a couple of those.
Yeah. Those are always interesting, right? Because like for a while when LeBron was in there, I think pretty much every finals LeBron was in, the best matchup was in the finals. Other than the San Antonio one, which the Cavs got swept.
Yeah, I would say that. No, actually, that's not true. Because 2018, that was not the best.
Who the Warriors play? The Rockets?
They played the Rockets and that was 7.
Oh, that was the determinant of who was going to win.
That was the determinant.
Because it was like the baby Celtics and the Cavs, and none of those teams were winning the finals that year. Well, I don't know. The Rockets could have probably got beat by Bron, but like that's just because I'm not a big fan of James Harden.
I was about to say, okay, it's some hate in there.
Sure. I mean, has James Harden done anything to make me believe he would have done shit in the finals?
They would have beat that Cavs team.
I don't know. Like, if there's one bullshit LeBron finals you can get, I think you could get that one against the Rockets, because the Rockets are just prone to doing to just choking at that era. Did they lose to the KD-less Warriors?
I think the 2019 year after.
The Kawhi year, did they lose in the semis to them and then like Portland?
I think I want to say you're right.
Yeah, because KD went down in the middle of that series, and they still. The Rockets were never gonna win a championship with them, dog. I'm sorry, like it's an old take. I'm gonna get it off right now. No, unserious. I remember KD being out, like this is the year to eliminate these motherfuckers, and couldn't do it.
Man, it sucks that Chris Paul got hurt in that series because he had hurt in Game 5, and that's when they went up 3-2.
Yeah,
and then it was just over with after that.
It's always something with them, right? Always something, man. Always
It
don't ever matter that they got James.
21 missed threes in Game 7.
That was payback for what they did to the damn Clippers.
21 missed threes. How is that even possible, dog?
Hey, dog. I mean, I could argue that the Celtics are the team that feels like they could have one of those droughts because of how many fucking threes they shoot. They're like 10 above the rest of the league in 3-point attempts. It's crazy.
Oh, somebody said it was 27. Oh, damn, even worse.
27 straight threes.
How do you miss 27 straight threes?
Bruh, I'm just going to the cup after like 15. Okay, like
it's Game 7 too. Like at some point, we just got to stop.
At some point, post up. Like, put James on the fucking block. Do something. Like, for the love of God, stop letting Gordon shoot these threes. Like,
man, listen, man, that might just be the Lord telling you it's not your year,
or you the Rockets, right? Like,
because missing 27 straight is just like. That feels like divine intervention at that point.
It feels like God was like, James Harden is not getting a ring. You, my friend, are not getting a ring. Yeah, and then Portland got blew out in the Western Conference Finals that year. That year felt like the finals was coming. Well, the finals was going to be determined by the Eastern Conference Finals that year because it was what Milwaukee. Ooh, that was a bad year. Milwaukee just folded after 2 games against Toronto. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the Kawhi year.
That was fun.
It was fun. All-time playoff run.
Mm-hmm. He should have never left Toronto because, like, at least we'd be able to enjoy it more. But then he spent them years on the damn Clippers that we don't remember. He's gonna have the weirdest career.
He's had 2 legit, like, crazy playoff runs.
No, like. Amazing career that I don't know who's going to advocate for at the end of the day.
Well, you don't think he'd make the Hall of Fame?
No, he's going to make the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying, like, you know how people will always push for the legacy of Kobe Bryant. Even like somebody who people make the argument it doesn't exist for, but Kevin Durant's always going to have people who push for Kevin Durant. Kawhi really don't got people like that, or at least his size, his group size is just super small. It's like Kawhi gets left out of a lot of conversations because people just don't bring him up because they don't think about him.
Kawhi, we're going to talk about Kawhi, how we talk about Eli.
That's nasty, Cole.
We're going to talk about Kawhi, how we talk about Eli.
And what do you mean by that?
Because you know how like people would be like, he's not a Hall of Famer and blah blah blah. Like, because like if you look at some of his stats, just like as a quarterback, like regular season and everything, it's not like that crazy. Like you look at Kawhi's like career stats, it's really like not that crazy, to be honest with you. Like he don't have anything that's like, damn, like he was that, you know what I'm saying? But I'ma always remember those runs. I'm gonna always remember those chip runs. I'm gonna always remember them too.
I'm gonna do them better than Eli. This Eli feel because everybody knew Eli wasn't good. That's part of why people feel the way about Eli is because they're like, he was definitely not as good as like his accolades say. Kawhi was is good.
He was that dude. He just couldn't stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like he just couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, I feel like his comp is somewhere different than Eli. I don't know. Y'all in chat, y'all throw me a better comp to that. I'm not about to do Kawhi like that. That is nasty.
That's just because you feel a way about Eli. That's what that is.
Am I the only one who feels this way about Eli Manning?
I don't feel that way about Eli.
You think Eli Manning was legitimately? You was shaking in your boots when the Browns played the goddamn Giants. Oh God,
Eli Manning. I never said I was shaking in my boots.
That's what I'm saying. Like I used to be afraid of Kawhi when he was healthy. There was never a moment in my life where I'm like, oh God, it's Eli Manning.
I was afraid of Kawhi.
Dog, I felt about Eli Manning, just like a little. like you feel about Eli Manning how you feel about Derek Carr in a good year. You're like, all right, man, let's see what he does.
Somebody said Brandon. Somebody said Phillip Rivers.
Nah, he actually
because Phillip ain't win nothing. So like I feel like that automatically disqualifies him. Somebody said Brandon Roy, but Brandon Roy ain't eating nothing.
Brandon Roy's a what if, right?
Yeah, he's a what if. He's a what if.
The what if of Kawhi isn't like what if he achieved his peak, because he did. The what if is like what if he was able to maintain his peak longer, right? So
Ray Rag said Elway.
Nah, not Elway. It feels closer to Derrick Rose.
D Rose ain't win nothing either though.
Yeah, but at least he got like there was a point where you're like, oh, it's gonna be D Rose's NBA. He's gonna be the best guard for a while, and then like the injury. Nah, it don't hit. I don't know. Kawhi. This is why I'm like Kawhi's in a weird place as an athlete, because I'm like, who can really push for him the way he needs to be pushed for? Because in Clipper fans, there's not enough of them. And I don't even think they love Kawhi like that, because he ain't done nothing for them.
Somebody said Kershaw.
Nah, okay. I'll get this. That's the pitcher for the Detroit. I mean, not Detroit, the Dodgers.
Yeah.
The 12-6 guy, the 12-6 curve guy.
Man, I'm trying to think. Kershaw? I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't even know if there's anything to really compare it to.
Nah, that's why I think it's so weird, right? Because like he did peak. Like you did see what peak Kawhi can get you, which is a championship. But he just never, like, he moved teams after it, right? I think that plays a part in it. Like he had like this era with the Spurs. Then he wins a ring randomly in fucking Toronto and bounces and goes to like the Clippers. Like there's a lot of different elements of things in there.
Yeah, it makes it difficult to actually like narrow it down.
Mm-hmm. And it's like the fact that we out here compare Kawhi Leonard to Eli Manning makes me feel like my point is secure. And hey, dog, who is advocating for you? Because this should not be acceptable for you to be compared to no Eli Manning.
Look, man, Eli got two of the.
This dude used to give LeBron in his prime defensive fits.
Hey, look, man, who did Eli beat? Who did Eli beat twice to get them chips?
The Giants beat the Patriots twice.
No. Don't do that,
man. Eli wasn't even the best player on those teams.
Did he get those Super Bowl MVPs?
He got the Super Bowl MVP because he a Manning and he played quarterback. So we know why Eli's in the Hall of Fame, dog.
Hold on. So I just want to make sure I got this right. So Kawhi Leonard, 2-time Finals MVP.
Curtis, I need some backup here.
Eli Manning.
I'm going hard for Eli Manning right now. I know I'm not alone on this.
And beat the GOAT twice to get him.
Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer. In no way, shape, or form should he be.
Thank you.
Like, why? He's just been mid. His resume just screams mid. If he didn't beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice, that man wouldn't be a Hall of Famer. Come on now. Stop it. Come on now. Don't do that.
So
name me your favorite Eli Manning season, Cole. What regular season did Eli Manning tear up? Name me it right now. Say it to my face right now, because we acting like Eli good.
See, I love how y'all switched the conversation. I say,
no. We got your point. We have taken that into consideration that he has beaten Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice.
Have you taken that into consideration?
Yeah. The Giants beat Tom Brady twice. Who was putting pressure on Tom Brady? Was it fucking Eli Manning, or was it the best edges we've ever seen? Okay.
Hey, listen. When Kawhi beat Bron,
we have this whole point about you can beat a top-tier quarterback if you have a good enough defense. Why? Because we see Eli Manning beat Tom Brady twice because the defensive line was fired. Why we acting like Eli Manning was out here just on pure grit beating Tom Brady?
We acting like Eli.
That's like acting like Jalen Hurts is somehow on Pat Mahomes' level because he won the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, yeah, be careful.
Well, I know, but it's the truth. All right.
Be careful.
Hey,
watch what you say.
Wow, you gonna leave me on the island? You squashed it.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving you on the island. We squashed that a long time ago.
You're going to show up on red leather. Okay. Wow.
Great song, by the way. Great song.
You was hating on the J. Cole verse. Nah, we not gonna do this, dog. We not about to rewrite history with Eli Manning and act like Eli Manning was this cold beat, like Eli Manning was one of the best quarterbacks in this era. He was never in the conversation with Drew Brees. He was never in the conversation with Tom Brady. He was never in the conversation with his brother. And statistically speaking, him and Phillip Rivers are on two paradigms. He won them 2 Super Bowls, but they won it off the strength of them Giants defenses. Like every other mid quarterback to have ever won a Super Bowl, look at the defense. I promise you're going to find something spectacular. Talk about no goddamn Eli Manning. Compared him to Kawhi Leonard is crazy. Am I alone on this?
Look, hey man, when I look at them playoff runs, look pretty similar to me. That 2019 one for Kawhi though was crazy though. Like individually,
were those playoff? Do we remember the playoff runs because Eli Manning was hooping though? Like, was it even Joe Flacco 2013 level of like, good God, what the fuck happened?
The thing about Eli is though, Eli got the 2 crazy plays in them Super Bowls.
That's all. Like, he got the 2. One was a Hail Mary.
He got the 2 craziest plays ever seen in Super Bowls.
He got the David Tyree helmet catch, which I could argue more about David Tyree than Eli. Way more about David Tyree than Eli. Because maybe he would have had to catch it with his helmet if it was on target.
Listen, he threw that bitch though.
Give me credit.
He threw that bitch though.
Eli does deserve some credit for that, right? Like, is he first ballot? Did he win first ballot?
No.
Okay, he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame. He was eventually going to get in because he's Eli Manning. He won 2 Super Bowls in the narrative about Eli. But I mean, if we keeping it a buck about Eli's playing career, it's pretty unspectacular. Like, but 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions in the playoffs. It's pretty pedestrian for somebody who's in the playoffs as much as him.
Look up Kawhi's numbers right now. Domo said Kawhi's Ben Roethlisberger. No.
Ben won that one early. I think there's a little bit to it. I think it's closer. I think it's closer because Ben won that one early and he was a part of it, but he wasn't the best player on that team yet. And then like the rest of there's just that part where he wins a championship and he's the best player on the team that's like out with Ben. But I think if you add that to Ben's story, I think they're very similar.
But there's also the part of Kawhi leaving that team being unquestionably the best.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's parts missing, but like there's something to that. Like maybe that would have been Kawhi if he stayed with the Spurs.
This is my point though. Like this is the point I keep coming back to. It's so his story is so and his career is so unique in a way.
6-3. Yeah, you're right. These aren't crazy like average.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like that's why I said the Eli thing. I was like, if you look at their career stats, both are not that crazy outside of the runs.
Good God, though. Hey, from 20. Here's where there is some cheek in the armor, though. His playoff averages from 2015 to 2021 are fucking absurd. Like, yeah, he averaged what 27, 8 and 2 in 2016-17, what with 39 and 4 in 2019, one finals MVP, 28, 9 and 5 with 2 steals in 2020, and then 37-4 with 2 steals in 2021.
Man,
yeah,
like he got some crazy playoff runs.
Yeah, from the age of 29 to 30, Kawhi was untouchable in the playoffs. He did have a pretty good. He only played 2 games in the 2022-23 playoffs, but he did average 34 between those 2 games.
Yeah, man. Like checking the games played, that Toronto run.
Yeah.
That Toronto run.
He played 24 games. Every series went.
That is an all-time like that to me is like one of the greatest like singular individual all-time playoff runs in NBA history.
On 39 minutes a game.
39 minutes a game, dog. Look at the efficiency.
Woo.
He shot 49% from the field and 38% from 3 and 88% from the free throw.
Yes.
He was cooking.
And here's what I'll say. Eli ain't got nothing close to that in the goddamn playoff.
But he did beat the GOAT twice. He
did. And look, Eli wasn't like weak. I would argue you could argue the 2011 playoff run was actually significant, right? Like he put up some good numbers, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1,200 yards. Like he was hooping in that one run. But like we never looked at Eli and Kawhi the same. But nonetheless, we had any more basketball things to talk about?
We got the chat talking about who you compare Kawhi to in the NFL. But it's so unique. It's so unique. It really is. Like,
and I wonder how he's gonna be because like he has no base, right? Like Spurs fans hate him still. Raptor fans like, they still boo him, don't they?
I don't know if they still boo him.
They got beef with him. It's just awkward.
Bro, he only has, for his career, he only has a little bit more than 14,000 points for his career, dog. Like he's not even going, he legitimately might not break 16,000.
Someone said that Kawhi only beat the Warriors without 2 of their best players. Oh yeah, nobody talks about them toppling the Warriors dynasty or anything like that. But he did destroy Prime Giannis. Just put Prime Giannis in a box.
Also, this was also that series against the 76ers.
Peak Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
With Jimmy Butler on that team.
And Ben Simmons.
I mean, Ben Simmons, I would argue, doesn't deserve to have a peak. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, but
the best version of
Ben Simmons, when we thought Ben Simmons was that dude.
Ben Simmons when he had a future, yes.
Yes, yeah. Like he did that. He did that to know.
Yeah.
Legitimately, honestly.
And
that
his second best player was goddamn baby Pascal Siakam.
Yes.
we was talking about Pascal Siakam like he was Scottie Pippen. Okay.
Third best player, Kyle Lowry.
And then Norman Powell off the bench.
And then fourth best player, I think, the Forever Elite. Yeah.
Like that was. You look at that squad and you go, wow, that squad was not great outside of Kawhi.
But they did it though.
Hey. And they were supposed to be eliminated like twice.
Messiah Jury will never get fired because of that playoff run.
Imagine if he got to draft Giannis like he wanted to.
That game winner in Philly, still just like the craziest game winner.
It is the best picture of all time.
Yes. Yes.
Just everybody watching that ball drop. And then Joel Embiid, like, damn. And like crazy enough, closest Joel's ever been. You can argue.
Somebody said, did the host forget about Marc Gasol? Marc Gasol was hooping. He was absolutely hooping.
Marc Gasol, what brought him up?
Because we were listening to players that were on the Raptors. So like, Marc Gasol absolutely was hooping.
But that was old Marc. Come on.
But and listen, everything he had left, he left it out there.
Put it in there, and he got drunk as hell on that float. Yeah. Marc Gasol was hooping, and that's it. Well, let's see.
Somebody said he made Giannis and Joel cry that year. Facts. He did.
Hey, look, he didn't have that move that Marc Gasol used to have, but he had size. Like Marc Gasol, just like, I'm a big motherfucker. That's what's going on.
And he can always pass that rock.
Yeah.
Always pass that rock.
He was the Jokic before Jokic.
Him and Powell.
Mm-hmm.
They were like the premier passing bigs of their era, and the Jokic just
Jokic go, but wow.
He had 19 assists.
Bro, I don't even look at Jokic's stats anymore. I'm like, I know they're ridiculous. Like, was like gonna be like 30, 11, and 8. Like, but yeah, man. Oh, you spent one more year on the Lakers?
Ray asked a great question, actually.
What's up?
Was that the last time a one-star led team, like one-star led team, won the finals?
What do we consider the Warriors when they won it that last time? Because that felt like a one-star led team.
Yeah, that felt like Steph doing that to me.
Because it wasn't really about what they were getting out of Clay at the time.
Wait, when Giannis won with the Bucks, do we consider that?
Yeah, I think Giannis with the Bucks. Yeah, Giannis was going crazy that year. And what? Well, the people were trying to make the argument. Chris Middleton played really good that series. Right? Like, people were making the argument that the dumbass argument that Giannis was Robin to Chris Middleton's Batman after that series. So it didn't feel like there's a question of like, technically Giannis is the only star on that team, but it didn't feel when you were watching that series like it was just Giannis that was bringing them down. Bringing down the Suns. Was it the Suns that series?
Yeah,
Chris Paul ain't never been to a finals.
Yeah, it was the Suns. And yes, Chris Paul was on that team.
Well,
I believe they had a 2-0 lead, and then Giannis just went crazy.
Yeah, Giannis just decided
50 piece of the closeout game.
Feels like it. Feels like that was
50 piece of closeout game.
I remember saying Giannis is the new Shaq after that series. Let me stop tripping.
No, legitimately, that's like the greatest. That's probably like the greatest closeout game performance in the finals ever.
I mean, Steph had people doing night. I forget what he did, but he did something. He was closing motherfuckers out there, like just the nastiest people.
Only time I ever rooted for the Warriors when they played the Celtics in the finals.
Yeah, so there was that, Steph. Was there any other ones? I don't think you could count the Celtics as a one-star led team.
No, you can't.
Who won it before them? Was it
Nuggets?
No.
So Jokic? We considering Jamal Murray a superstar? He never even made an all-star team. So yeah, I feel like
I guess with Ray Rags, and I guess the question really is like, if you feel like the support is trash around a player and they win a championship, or the support is ordinary but not exceptional, I would argue that Denver had an extraordinary squad around him. Not another star, but it didn't feel like the burden was on. Like if the Cavs, it's kind of like a similar thing where it's like, yeah, the supporting cast is significant around that player, even if there's no individual there that's like a star. Like you could.
Oh,
you just went.
You just went too. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Chat, can y'all hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That was weird.
That was strange.
Yeah, that was a little crazy. That's a little crazy.
Was that Curtis' fault?
Yeah, we're gonna blame Curtis.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I guess it comes down to like how you feel about the supporting cast too, right? Because like Giannis had a good supporting cast on that team. Was that Drew Holiday was on that one?
Yes.
Yeah, because it got rid of Eric Bledsoe. Like it didn't feel like it was all on Giannis. Like I guess Kawhi was the last time it felt like, hey dog, if Kawhi goes down, immediate sweep.
Yeah.
Immediate sweep.
Man. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about Adrian Berry's talking about the combine, don't we?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Yeah, let's talk about it. We know y'all want to talk about the Browns. We know y'all here. So double down on the Miles thing, not trading him.
That was interesting. That was interesting that he decided to do that. I will just say this. The Browns ain't trading him. I think they've made it very clear that they aren't trading him.
Let me get the quote up real quick. Go ahead. I'm gonna look for the quote.
He said it would be devastating. Correct me if I'm wrong. To lose a player like nothing about that press conference even says, "Hey, call me about Myles Garrett." And then he worked straight into talking about an extension and talking about, "Hey, man, it can feel like an extension's not going to happen at a certain time." Then all of a sudden, an extension happens. And he said it with a smile on his face. Like he doing a lot of smiling for somebody who people think gonna have to trade the best player since coming back in '99.
So I just want to point out one thing before I read this quote off.
Yeah.
I know how certain people feel about Mary Kay Cabot. But when she gets information, she's getting information from somewhere.
When she is willing to put her name behind the information.
Yes.
She does. Like if she the thing that people have to balance with Mary Kay is when Mary Kay speculates, it could be whatever, right? Like sometimes she speculates, I'm like, you not cooking at all, Shawty. But there are times where she does like report something. That's serious, right? When she reports something, something's going on. When she is speculating, it could be anything.
So what she said on 92.3 today was, I forget who the hosts were on 92.3 in the afternoon. But she said they asked her basically about Myles, like, do you think he's going to get traded? Like, what do you think is going to happen? And she was like, I actually think that if they make him the highest paid defensive player in the NFL, that the situation could get resolved, and then everybody would move on.
And
so I think there's a pathway to resolving that,
which is interesting because all I will say is this: for a while, we did not feel like the pathway was very clear for a resolution. We can all agree on that, right? Like Mary Kay was there, everybody was saying that, right? Monday, the same day the Browns make a bunch of new moves, right before the combine, where it is known to be a networking event where all the agents are there, all these people are there, right? Like stuff gets done during the combine, even if it's not for draft picks. All of a sudden, that day hits, and the vibe, for whatever reason, shifts on the nature of this holdout and what could end it. That's not nothing. Like, that's not nothing. Not saying I know anything. Not saying that I'm just reading the tea leaves here, right? We just reading the tea leaves. What's available? Hey. Hey. It felt one way on Friday. Monday, they make like 8 roster transactions. And everybody's talking about this differently.
Speaking of talking about this, I just want to say this. Okay.
The Brian Windhurst.
Daniel from Daniel Oyefusi, ESPN, the ESPN Browns reporter. Shout out to Daniel.
Shout out Daniel.
He's cool people. He's good people. He says, I asked Andrew Berry where he feels the disconnect is with Myles Garrett, given his trade requests and comments. Berry, this is the quote. I'd say the big thing we are aligned on is everyone wants to win. Everybody's frustrated with last year. I think where you could have a difference of opinion is the approach that it takes and some of the hard decisions that have to be made as you transition forward. But like I said, our perspective is we're going to do the things to improve the team. And one of the things that is very important is having Myles as a part of the organization.
It's interesting. It's very interesting how this has taken a bit of a turn.
I'm just saying, man. Money talks.
Man, we were putting out cryptic tweets yesterday. People were getting on me, but they weren't getting on you. It was crazy.
Because I did mine on Blue Sky. Nobody be there. So, like, this is me and the homies right there. Like, y'all did that in public. I don't know why y'all did that in public. But again, I don't know anything, you know. But it is interesting that the vibe has shifted. It's almost like, you know, like, and we could consider what the situation would be like if this weren't about just strictly winning.
Ray Rags did get on me about that tweet. Because I said, like, people were like, hey, if you're wrong, if Miles get traded and blah, 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 we owe you. I was like, if he gets traded, you know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong, I will accept all humiliation, all public humiliation and lashings for being wrong about this. And then Ray Rags took it to a whole different place.
Where Ray Rags take it?
Where Ray Rags talk about, hey, man, you got to tell us what your kings are. I'm like, okay, bro. Okay, bro. That's crazy. I was like, bro, that's not even what I was talking about, bro. What you talking about, Ray Rags?
Well, you did take it to lashes. And then he
I was like, yeah, man, like, you knew what I was talking about, bro. Got me out here looking crazy.
All right. Anyway,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Anyways, it is interesting that the tone of this whole thing has changed. And like, I have had this conflict with looking at this Miles situation for a while, where I look at it from one perspective and I think to myself, well, that makes no sense. And then I look at it from another perspective and I go, it makes no sense for him to operate like this, right? I've said this for a while. If his goal was truly to be traded to a contender, everything he's done about this makes no sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So it didn't feel like that was 100% the end goal to me. If his goal was to get money, just getting money exclusively, feels like there's a bit of a disconnect with this strategy, right? What I think could have been the case is that they were negotiating, because, like, again, from what we know, and again, I'm just speculating, full-blown do not aggregate me. I don't know shit. But this is just my guess. Feels like they were negotiating an extension at the end of the season. All signs point to that, right? Maybe they were trying to convince him, hey, maybe we don't need to have the highest cap number on you. You know, maybe we can lower it to be more aggressive. And that's where Miles had his objections, because he was like, hey, I'm going to take some money off this deal, but I'm not 100% sure what y'all going to do with that, given that this is not going to be enough money to go get a quarterback. What I'm going to take off this deal. And maybe that's where the impasse started, right? And he's like, hey, for this money, I'd rather play for somebody else who has a better chance of winning. And now the Browns will come back to the table, potentially with a more significant offer that is more satisfying to Miles's camp. Feels like that puts all the pieces in place where it's like, okay, it makes sense he did that. It makes sense he did that. It makes sense he did that. Not saying that is the case, but feels like maybe this whole thing was actually birthed out of a contract negotiation. And if that is the case, you feel significantly better about that. Because if you could get Myles Garrett to an extension and end this whole thing, everybody's happy, right? Because we all agree the best outcome to this situation is keeping Myles Garrett in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So
I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that.
I think there's some people who disagree with that. The people who love like the hypothetical value of draft picks. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, we're not talking about John Rivers. We're not talking about John, who wakes up every morning and tweets, "It's 95 going yet?"
I don't know what's going on with that. Look, I'll be on there.
John tried to trade everybody on the team. He was like, "Is 95 going yet? You can send Denzel with him."
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's like, "Get everybody out of here."
That's nuts.
Oh man.
Well, speaking of legends that might leave Cleveland, Andrew Berry in his press conference said he expects Nick Chubb to hit free agency. Now, people had a reaction to this, and I understand the reaction, right? Because for what most people know, Miles is on the chopping block, and good God, you might not even have Nick Chubb next year. Which, like, for a lot of people, I mean, there's some Browns fans that legitimately grew up with this, and like Nick Chubb was there. So losing Nick Chubb, like, emotionally, it matters. I think also, I would not undervalue what Nick Chubb can bring to your football team if he gets healthy. Like, I think there's a lot of people low on him. We'll see what the market is on him. I hope the Browns retain him because I think he is important to have in the locker room. I think he's important to have. So, like, the fan base isn't super annoying to deal with. I think he's important to have just in general. I think Nick Chubb's very important. And I don't think it's going to be very expensive. Do you think he gets brought back? Because the one thing about this, like being a free agent in this class, and I think Andrew Berry's betting on, hey, man, I don't think anybody's trying to spend money at free agency at running back this year.
No, this running back draft class is so good, I'm not trying to pay you guys, unfortunately. Like, that's just that's probably what every GM is thinking. Hey, bro, there's like 25 running backs that are good in this draft.
Yeah, like it feel like a lot of people want to sign under $5 million, right? Like, and I wonder if that's what the holdup is. Nick Chubb wants more money. The Browns don't want to give him that money for that exact reason. So they're going to let him test the market, and then if he doesn't get what they project he won't get, then they'll bring him back under the deal that they want, which is fair. Like, I don't want them to bring back Nick Chubb on $10 million. Like, I think that would be a mistake. But if you can get Nick Chubb back under $5 million, like, fine.
Yeah, I think what the plan is for the Browns, and this is just me speculating. I think they're drafting 2 running backs. I think they're drafting 2 running backs. I think they're going to draft one on day 2, and they're going to draft one on day 3.
Yeah. I think if you draft 2, you could retain Chubb and have 3 on the roster.
Yeah. And then you're good.
Yeah. Like, I've been drafting 2 running backs.
I always draft 2 running backs. There's no reason not to draft 2 running backs in this running back class.
I got to do it. Last mock draft, I got DJ Gittins and Travion Henderson. I was like, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Man, I don't even think there's a reason to not take 2 tight ends.
Oh no, I do that. Elijah Royal, Gunnar Helm, or what's our boy Harold Fainin Jr. First batch, second batch. I'm coming back. I'm getting Brian Stone or Lachey or who else is there? Is it
who's the tight end? Evans? The one from Notre Dame. Is it Mitchell Evans?
I haven't got to watch him a ton. I'm talking about the dude from Ferguson from Oregon.
Oh, yeah. Terrence Ferguson.
Yeah, or Halls, right? Like, it's pretty deep tight end class. So
can't go wrong with an Iowa tight end.
Hey, especially one that they didn't throw the ball to. I'm like, oh, he gonna hoop because he was at the Senior Bowl catching everything. I'm like, all right, I know what that is.
Hey, listen, Iowa tight end day 3, it works.
Yeah, Luke Lachey, let's get him. But yeah, this is a interesting class too because I wonder how many players the Browns plan on bringing in the draft because they have 12 picks right now.
Right now,
yeah, they could trade back and get more. I have said it for a while. I don't think that they're going to trade back from 2. I don't know if that's – even though we got to have a conversation about like, hey, man, is Abdul Carter going to be there? We'll talk about that next. But I don't know if trading back from 2, if they're going to yield what they want from that pick because I'm standing on it. I don't think this quarterback class is good. I don't think I'd be excited about taking out of these 2 at number 2. I just can't assume that everybody else would, right? So I don't think there's going to be a ton of. I don't think there's going to be a great trade there for two that'll make the value amazing. But I do think at the end of this draft, right, when we're talking about the end of round one, and hilariously enough, the absolute person you do not want to have the keys to a situation like this might have the keys, which is Howie Roseman, because I think 32 is going to get interesting, right? Depending on who falls, if there's a tackle that falls, if there's a quarterback that falls, everybody's going to want to get ahead of Cleveland. Which means Howie going to rob somebody, dog. Like there's going to be, I think, a lot of pressure there at the end of the first round. I think it's possible that because there's that much pressure, somebody's going to trade up, get who the Browns want at 33. If they're not willing to move up from 33, and if the Browns have that pick going into day 2, I think it's almost guaranteed that they trade it. Because anybody I think they would really want, they're going to have to probably move up to get.
I don't know. There's guys that I think are going to be there at 33 that they're not going to have to trade up to get. But I could definitely see them trading back from 33, because if there's guys there, and this happens every year, there's always a guy or a few guys who are supposed to go in the first round that end up being there, first pick of the second round. And if there's a team that has like multiple seconds, but maybe they're like lower seconds, maybe they're like in the 40s, maybe they have like one in the 40s and like one in the 50s or something like that. I think the Bills do. Mm-hmm. Like if there's a player the Bills want at 33, they're like, hey, we'll give you both of our lower seconds to come up to 33 to take that guy. I think Andrew Berry would say yeah.
And well, he has that swap too. He could work with that extra third he got from the Amari Cooper trade, where you can work that in and say, hey, we'll swap you this third to work in. Greg Newsome could play a factor. And the Browns would love to trade Greg Newsome. So there's a lot of different ways the draft can shake out. But I think 33, the Browns are either going to move up from 33 or move back from 33. That's the pick I'm like, I think they're moving from. 2 is interesting right now because maybe we were too effective with our arguments about Abdul Carter, because it seems like these motherfuckers in Tennessee got a hold of it, and now they drafting Abdul Carter number 1 overall.
So this is funny. So things we heard today. Adam Schefter said that, and I want to make sure I quote him specifically what he actually said. He said, I think the Cleveland Browns are taking quarterback at 2 because logic dictates that they take a quarterback with the second pick because of this Deshaun Watson situation, which is not wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong believing that.
If we were living in a draft where like we didn't have opinions about these players, yes, the Browns would be the team that's most likely to take a quarterback.
I find it funny that Todd McShay, I think it was like last week, in his mock, had them taking Travis. And we'll talk about Travis in a second too. He said multiple sources told him the Browns are not taking a quarterback at 2, or they're not going to force a quarterback pick at 2. I think that's interesting. Andrew Berry today said that he will make the best decision for the team. And he was responding to a question about him trading back from 2. Mm-hmm. And he said, I will make the best decision for the team so we can add talent to the roster, but I haven't made a decision yet.
In my opinion, I can see how it can be easy to be lost in the shuffle if you're paying attention to some of the like more fluffy things, right? The people really keen in on this whole Nathan's a girl, really wants a quarterback. I think that's just Nathan's opinion. Like the way he's been willing to die on the hill, I'm like, he ain't doing that for the Browns. Nathan doing that because Nathan want a quarterback, because Nathan want people to be excited about the Browns again, and drafting the quarterbacks the way you do that. That's my take on that whole thing, right? But you get to like when you read some of these tea leaves on what Andrew's doing, I don't think any of this reads to me that they're taking the quarterback at 2. Maybe this is just my own hopium, right? Projecting itself, manifesting itself. But I see them, and they're not making the moves I would think they would be making if they felt like they were obviously going to be taking a quarterback. And let's be honest about taking a quarterback at 2. That is a decision you make well ahead of time.
Yep.
Right? Like if you're going to take a quarterback at 2, you are preparing to take a quarterback at 2. Right? You're not answering calls about the second overall pick. You're not trying to move up and down the board. I do think the whole thing about Travis Hunter being a wide receiver that he let slip was interesting.
I tweeted that as soon as I saw it. I was like, that's interesting.
That was interesting. We'll talk about that in just a second. But it just does not feel like the Browns are excited about this quarterback class. And in order to take a quarterback at 2, I know people want to act like this isn't required, but it is required that the people selecting that player should probably be excited about whoever they're taking number 2 overall. And this doesn't scream that to me. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But I haven't read anything, heard anything that makes me feel like they're really trying to make this happen, right? Look, maybe Jimmy Haslam decides to show up in one of these quarterbacks like that. That will be the ultimate thing that will throw this thing into chaos, which I expect to happen, which is like Jimmy Haslam at the Colorado Pro Day, right? Like we're going to get something like that, right? The Browns want to take a quarterback. So if they're going to pass on a quarterback, they have to be sure. So they're going to do the visits, right? I know people are like, oh, Shador has a visit. Obvious, right? You're going to have Shador on a visit. Same thing with Cam Ward. They're going to be very interested in both these prospects because if you're going to pass on them, you got to be sure.
Yeah.
Don't just take my word for it, right? Like, be sure about it. But I just don't. You usually get the vibe when a team really wants to take a quarterback. They're not giving me that vibe right now that they really want to take a quarterback. They're giving me the vibe of we understand we need a quarterback, but we're not about to rush. And none of that feels like what's required to take a quarterback at 2, which is you got to want to rush. And I think this is going to be something that pops up. A lot of first-year GMs in the top 10 here. The number 1 GM that has no reason to rush is a first-year GM. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm not surprised that all of a sudden the Titans, they don't feel like they're taking a quarterback here, right? A lot of people still think they're going to go Cam Ward. I don't know if they're going to go Cam Ward. Let's talk about the possibility of Abdul Carter going number 1 overall because it felt like a fringe thing a while ago. Now it feels like as we get closer and closer and settle in, and God help us if he has a great pro day, it feels like we gotta cross our fingers when the Titans turn in that card.
I'll just say, I'll say it now. If the Titans keep that pick, I think they're taking Abdul.
Yeah.
It feels like what they're trying to do, they're trying to trade that pick. That's what they want to do. They want to trade that pick and get as much back as they possibly can for that pick. If nobody comes up to get that pick to take a quarterback, they're going to take Abdul.
I got a question. Remember when the Cavs drafted Anthony Bennett?
Yep.
Because they needed a wing.
They needed something.
Is taking a quarterback at 1 this year kind of like drafting Anthony Bennett? Not saying it's going to have the same outcome as Anthony Bennett, but isn't it kind of the same thought process that made the Cavs draft Anthony Bennett, where they were like, we need a wing. He's 6'8". He's 200-something pounds. He can jump. He's a good athlete. Let's go we would take him at 7. Why not take him at 1? Right? Like it's kind of that same, don't it feel like the same thought process? It's not going to be as shocking because he plays quarterback, but it is the same thought process.
Maybe. Not exactly though.
It's not 1-to-1 because they're 2 different sports, but also when has reaching worked for a quarterback? Like every time I hear these arguments, people are like, oh, well, what if they become great? Cool. When has reaching for a quarterback ever worked in the top 5 of the first round? Like, can we like legitimately? Is there an example of like a team that reached and it worked out long term? Because we don't know what Bo Nix and Michael Penix's gonna be. Like that could easily become like what happened with the boy McCorkle Jones, right? Where it looked good for a year, and then all of a sudden the wheels fell off.
I don't know, Curtis. You got any?
I can't remember a time where a team reached that quarterback and it worked. Curtis, you got any examples?
I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head. I have to dig in archives.
Well, let's go through some drafts. Y'all want to go through some drafts? Starting at what, 2023? 2023. Let's go 2023 drafts.
Chase said Jordan Love. I don't think that was a reach. I don't think
that was a reach.
What pick was Jordan Love?
I said top 7. Well, I said top 5, but I'll expand it to top 7. Right, the top quartile of the draft. Jordan Love was 20-something.
Okay,
that don't count.
That don't count.
That's not what I'm talking about at all. But
someone said, "Are we counting Herbert at 6 a reach?" I don't think so. No.
Oh, Herbert was not a reach. Herbert was pretty soundly projected to go in the top 10 off the merits of his football career. Would you call Anthony Richardson a reach? I'm not saying it worked out, but he's somebody to watch. I made the argument for drafting him at 1, so like I can't call him a reach.
What about Daniel Jones? He was drafted 6 overall.
Yeah, that's a reach. Out. That's a reach.
And that didn't work out. Nobody in 2022, 2021. Zach Wilson was not a reach. He was supposed to go to. It just never worked out. I didn't like him as a prospect. Trey Lance, it's not a reach, still didn't work out. And then we got Justin Field 11. 2020, are we calling Tua a reach at 5? I don't think that's a reach.
No, I don't think that's a reach.
Tua was supposed to go 2 that year, right?
He was supposed to go in top 5 somewhere.
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise. Well, it wasn't an argument all year. Kyler went 1. We calling Kyler at 1 a reach?
No.
All right. Baker was kind of a reach at 1, but like still expected to go in the top 7.
Yeah, I would say Baker's not a reach to me.
Sam Darnold, not a reach. Josh Allen, not a reach.
Not a reach.
Josh Rosen was a reach.
I'm about to say, yeah, that feels like a Josh Rosen at 10 is a reach to me.
Josh Rosen was falling. Mitchell Trubisky, huge reach at 2.
Yeah.
Huge reach.
Massive,
I would argue that this year's
reach.
Class, taking a quarterback 1 or 2 overall in this year's class would be the biggest reach since Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah. Mitch was a reach for sure.
Goff and Wentz, not reaches. Both are pretty strong quarterback prospects. Jameis and Marcus, I mean, people forget how good quarterback prospects they were.
I was about to say that's not a reach. That's not a reach
reaches.
Either.
Blake Bortles was a reach.
That's a reach.
Not work out.
They had 1 year. They had 1 year where it was cool, but
again, I would argue defense had everything to do with that. Again, look, whenever you talk about a mid quarterback that has had success, look at the defense. Look at the defense, dog. Every single time. It's never like, oh, well, Blake Bortles had 45 wide receivers on that squad. No, it's like he had the meanest fucking defense you've seen. Like
let me look at the Blake Bortles stats real quick for that year.
Blake Bortles stats were the same the year before he went to the conference championship game. People thought he was garbage. He had worse stats the year after, I believe. And people were like, he's amazing. I'm like, he just won. That's all that happened.
He just won.
Yeah. Like he just won because the team got better. Like Jalen Ramsey was healthy.
Let me see. Dang, he been out the
quarterbacks. Well, EJ Manuel, 2013 reach did not work out.
He had, let me see. over 3,600 yards, a little bit less than 3,700 yards, 60% completion percentage, 21 touchdowns, 13 picks. Diaveria,
pretty identical to what he did the year before.
Yeah, year before, 3,900 yards, 23 touchdowns, 18 picks, 16 picks.
Yes. You could argue 2015 was his best year.
Yeah. 35 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
But see, here's what I'm saying. 35 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. He won 5 games that year. Nobody was talking about Blake Bortles like that, right? But you get to like 2017, that year was technically a down year for Blake Bortles at that point. But they won 10 games. And everybody was like, Blake's arrived. I was like, what are we talking about? It's the same dude. Like,
man.
By the way, averaging double-digit interceptions per season is crazy.
Per season.
Like deep in the double digits. I mean, this motherfucker in the teens.
Yeah. Like, giving that bitch away.
Oh, yeah, he was throwing away. I don't even want to look at the fumble numbers. Let me go look at them. Woo! God damn, he had 14 fumbles one year.
Oh, how do you have 14 fumbles?
Dog, yeah, 8, 9, 8. Like, yeah, but you see how these numbers are pretty consistent for Blake Bortles. Like, but it's like he won, which goes back to the Eli argument. But all jokes aside, yeah, when does reaching for a quarterback ever worked?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
They're saying someone said, well, if there's a difference between people mocking quarterbacks in the top 10 because they're quarterbacks, which is clearly what's going on right now. Versus
they say that too. Like if you read the reasoning behind like
literally their big boards are like, hey, I don't got them in the top 15. But
like they'll rank the players and then you see the QBs like towards the bottom of the first round, or like the bottom 30, like somewhere between in like the 20s or something. But they'll mock them at 2 or 3 and 1 because like, well, they got to take a quarterback, right? Like that to me is not a. That's not.
We know what it's like when somebody's taking a quarterback because somebody got to take a quarterback. We know what this is the thing that drives me crazy about it. People know good and goddamn well they arguing in bad faith because we know what it feels like. We know it feel like that right now, where it's like, hey, man, you talk about drafting quarterback because you talk about you want a quarterback, but it ain't like you excited about one of these dudes, right? Like the same way that if the Browns had the chance to draft Drake May or Jaden Daniels, we'd be on this pod bringing up Jaden Daniels and Drake May clips, and it'd just be us watching film on them for like the next 3 months straight because we're like, yo, we about to get this player. It's not about that when people argue for drafting a quarterback. It's always just about the concept of drafting a fucking quarterback. It's like, oh, you should just draft the quarterback because that's what you should do. And it's like, that's not how you should operate. If the quarterback is there, take the quarterback. But we trying to elevate dudes into fitting into a mold that they just don't fit into.
Yeah, if the reasoning you want them to draft a quarterback is because effectively we have to draft a quarterback. That to me is the biggest sign that they should not take the quarterback.
Yeah, it's a lot of we got to do something at the position.
Yeah, it's never about the player. Never about the player.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see it like people aren't arguing for the player enough. Now, I'm going to drop my one last draft hot take and then we'll move on. I think Will Howard is my favorite. Like, I don't think he's the best prospect in this draft. Let me preference this by saying that. But I watched this film and I like him. I like Will Howard. Yeah, I was going into this thinking I was going not like Will Howard. I was hating on Will Howard during the season. And I'm like, God damn, man, I should have paid more attention. He's actually kind of hooping. Have no idea where you take him. Like I'm settling on, take him at 68, maybe. Like I don't mind it.
Somebody I went to high school with who coaches football now, he was like, man, Will Howard had the easiest job in football.
But he did it so well, dog.
Like I said, I was like, he was hooping though.
This was like, it's the easiest job. And like, when you watch Will Howard's tape, there's this weird balance going on where like he overwhelmingly benefited from having Jeremiah Smith on the team because Jeremiah Smith would run all the field side stuff. But like Emeka Egbuka benefited more from Will Howard being there than like Will Howard benefited from Emeka Egbuka being there. Because Will would get that shit to him on time, in stride, and let him turn a 7-yard route into a 17. And that is the balance that I have difficulty with Will Howard. I'm like, hey, dog, how weak is that arm? Can we do something with that? If we could do just a little bit with that, I think there's a future for him as a starter in the league. I don't know if he's going to be a great starter, but he could be a starter in the league. The issue is, and he does all the little stuff well, but it's just that arm strength I keep coming back to because I'm like, I see him throw to the field side. I'm like, yeah, it mattered that Jeremiah Smith was there. But then he gets to the playoffs and then he throws to the field side. I'm like, it looks better. Like maybe it's mechanical.
We're going to find out, man. We'll find
Quick
out.
processor. Like I will say this, everything I like about, like, you know how I when I watch a quarterback, I'm like, I want to see you throw with anticipation. I want to see you stay in structure. Like the stuff I like about quarterbacks. He does all that shit. Like I'm like, he does it all. He throws layers well. I'm like, his game, I like his game. Like if I were drafting in this draft, I'd be a lock to take fucking Will Howard a little earlier than most people because I'm like, yep, that's me. I like that. That is what I like at the quarterback position. I don't know what that is for Andrew. Like I get the feeling that Andrew's probably not going to be somebody who loves Will Howard. But maybe Kevin is. Who wins that battle? I don't know. But I expect Will Howard's name I expect his draft stock to rise significantly over the weekend.
We're going to see, man.
Because he's going to get on that whiteboard. It's going to be like, oh, yeah, he processes fast. Decisive. Very accurate. But he's throwing to the best wide receivers in college football.
That's the whole thing. It's just like, hey, man, can you do this?
But he really don't be making them work. Like Kyle McCord used to make Marvin Harrison work because look at Marvin Harrison's highlight tape. It's like 13 minutes long because all he was doing was catching inaccurate passes. Think about like Ohio State wide receivers, like, yeah, man, like the highlights don't look that spectacular because they getting the shit in time. Except for Jeremiah Smith, who again on that field side, he does have to work. Like he definitely be having to work. But dog, if you on that same hash.
Breaking from Tony Grossi.
Oh shit! What happened?
Browns reconciliation with Myles Garrett sounding. He put a $ for the S and sounding more possible, and there's $2 for the 2 S's and possible.
Not saying we know none. Hey, not saying we know none.
Y'all see our hands? Y'all see our hands?
No names, please.
Yeah, y'all see our hands?
No, all I'm telling you is interesting the timing of all of this, right? You know what I mean? Again, walk y'all through it. Friday, I'm feeling great. All of a sudden, they get back in the office. They make like 9 roster transactions. Next thing you know, the whole tone of this thing has changed. Next thing you know, we talk about, oh yeah, money can't solve the problem. That was not what we was talking about Friday. Now, I can't tell you what happened there or not. And I'm not saying something happened. I'm not saying something happened. But it was interesting. Andrew Berry was like, yeah, we're not trading him. And we're actually like, I want to focus on an extension. It's bold. Right? That's bold if you don't feel like something could happen. You know what I mean? It's interesting. Interesting how this is all shaking out. When did you say so, Cole?
Hey, man, no more cryptic tweets for me.
Hey, man, I'm not. You weren't even tweeting cryptically. Who knows? You could have been talking about the Lakers. Speaking of cryptic tweets, Oh, Curtis, come back on here, man. We trying to get your quarterback, dog.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Cleveland. Yeah, Geno.
If he see a 216 area code, he better not answer the phone.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry, don't worry. He could block the 216 area code because Andrew Berry calling from Berea, brother. That's 440. Okay, so
216,
yeah,
440,
nah,
330.
pick up that phone, Geno. Pick up that phone. We about to sign Miles to an extension, big dog. Ain't you trying to be a part of this? You know we give you some bread. If you worried about bread? I know you want to reunite with the homie out there in Las Vegas, but come on, man. Come to Cleveland. Be a legend. You throw for 20 touchdowns here, dog. You would never have to pay for anything in the city of Cleveland for the rest of your life.
You know it's true too, Curtis. That's why you ain't saying that. You know it's true. You know it's true.
Look,
hey, you want to be a legend? Look, 125 touchdown season. Your jersey gonna get retired. Okay.
Look, all I said, I put in the group chat that me and Cole are a part of. He said, GM John Schneider said, "Hey, we're going to meet with him this week." That's what they said.
He said he gonna meet with him.
Hey,
we expect him to be our guy. So I don't know. I mean, if they don't come,
Geno, if they ain't talking the right dollar signs, ask around about us. We'll get it right.
Well,
we'll get that number right.
Money is never a problem.
Hey.
Well, we know that.
Oh yeah, Geno.
Oh, let Geno be in the room with Andrew Berry. He'll be like, "You see, we gave Deshaun."
Hey,
what we talking about?
Look, let them get Andrew Berry on the phone. The Seahawks start sweating because they like, oh, they might offer it. Okay, they desperate. They don't want to take these quarterbacks. Oh,
that would be my hell. That would literally be my hell.
Oh, Geno, where you want to start at? 45?
Damn, we ain't playing around.
yeah, just right here. Hey, bro, how long you think you could play? You think you could play to you 38? You know, because look, we can make that number go up, way up at the 2027, my brother. Okay,
listen, bro. You open to
you never did get that bag that you deserve, Geno.
Listen, money said, don't you want to be close to your cousin? Don't you be close to your cousin?
You got a cousin?
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith is his cousin.
Ooh. Oh, same state.
Be close to your cousin, man.
Hell, fuck it. Take a year off in 2026. We'll bring your cousin to you. Okay? Absolutely will.
You about to get Roger involved now.
Jimmy got that. Okay. Jimmy got that handled. All right. Yeah, Geno. You know what I mean? Look, you used to the Midwest anyway, right? We remember Geno Smith from when he played out there in at West Virginia. Yeah. Come relive the glory days, dog.
Also, you know what he did? You know what he did though? That really raised the eyebrow. See, obviously, you know, maybe
posted the Cleveland legend.
Let's listen. This is me working in social. Why he picked the Brian meme specifically? Why he picked the Brian? Why he picked the Brian meme specifically?
I'm just gonna point this one out too.
Maybe I'm reaching. But
the vibe changes on the Browns being able to keep Myles Garrett. All of a sudden, he posts that. Is this a Miami situation?
Listen.
Wait. Is Myles out here recruiting?
Bro, he went out his way and posted the Brian leaving. Brian leaving with the suit gift.
With tuxedo shorts.
You know Geno up there in age because that was the blurriest gift I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah. He posted that shit himself. Okay.
You know he little up there. There.
I'm like, they'll tell you where he posted it from, but I know that phone went do. Text big as fuck. Like on that phone. Boy, tweeted that shit from a Samsung Galaxy. Okay. Yeah, Geno. Come back to the Midwest, Geno. You know what I mean?
We will
Come back to
figure
the
it out,
Lord.
brother. We will figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you know how happy I would be if we went from what we got going on right now to just Geno Smith as a starting quarterback?
Yeah, but does my feelings matter? I got to deal with a rookie quarterback potentially. I'm not dealing with that.
Whose side are you on, Curtis?
I guess what you already saw what I put in the group chat. I'm turning. I will backstab you like Aaron Yeager did on Attack on Titan, and
That's
I ain't
crazy.
thinking twice.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, not
That is
even thinking
insane.
twice. Yeah, I'm not even thinking twice. I will do it in a heartbeat.
All right,
I will
Cole,
do
get some back plates in, brother, because it might happen. I hope you're prepared to live up to that threat.
We got to watch out for Curtis.
I don't know what you reference, but I hope you live up to it.
We'll talk about that later.
But in all seriousness, that was a weird turn things took because they felt like they were like, yeah, man, locking in Geno. What your boy, your favorite offensive coordinator hired the world, Clint Kubiak, goes over there. He's talking about how we love Geno Smith and Geno's going to be a huge part of this. And then Geno goes, what Magic do?
I'm not gonna be here. Hey, I don't know what they told him in the negotiations, but Geno was like, fuck that.
They said, Geno, we're going to let you play out your deal. Get the fuck out of my face. How do you feel about 25?
25.
They must have hit him with the Baker numbers. That's what they must have hit him with. Hey, by the way,
what?
I'm looking forward to the drama that's going to be Baker Mayfield's next extension. Woo!
That's gonna be interesting.
Woo!
That's gonna be interesting.
Woo!
They gonna
Because
pay him,
he
though.
could legitimately ask for crazy money.
Yeah, they gonna pay him too.
They're gonna have to do it.
They'll have to
But
do it.
they're gonna be hesitant about it. Like,
You sure you need this?
come on, man. We need to keep some people. And then like Mike Evans getting older, like I can see them getting cold feet. Hey, we know Baker meme game gonna be tighter than Geno's.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, Curtis. Who gonna start if y'all trade Geno? What y'all
I
got?
have no idea.
Who's the backup right now?
The backup is, oh my God, Sam Howell, and I think Jaron Hall's on the roster. Yeah,
Hey, Sam Howell had a lot of touchdowns that one year.
Did you see how he looked the last game he played against the Packers?
It's just one game.
It was Sunday night in front of the whole.
You know how many
He was
times people done
awful.
said that to Geno Smith before y'all gave him an opportunity. Y'all not gonna get the young man Sam Howell that same opportunity y'all gave Geno.
Absolutely not. No,
How you feel about
I
Jalen Milroe in
refuse.
the second? Or Jackson Dart? Ooh, y'all got Jackson Dart written all over y'all, dog.
Oh, it'll make me so happy. It would make me so happy if we had to deal with that because we got Geno. Woo! I feel good about that. I would forget about that.
Yeah, trade is DK and Tyler. Okay, I think Tyler a free agent, right?
No, he might get cut because salary cap reasons. Plus, he kind of fell off a little bit.
It's all right. It's all right. Y'all got Quandre Diggs though.
He's not on the roster either. They cut him last offseason, so he's gone too. Hey, we got Pete. We got Spoon. We got Reek. We got what else? We got JSN, Kenneth Walker,
JSN special.
Jalen Milroe.
Don't put that out there. Do not put that out there.
Who would Curtis least want to watch play quarterback for?
Oh no, I know who y'all got, Curtis. I know who y'all got.
Cam Ward.
Daniel Jones.
Ooh.
We're not gonna bring up the tweet that you put out.
That's evil. You gonna put Daniel Jones on him?
Daniel Jones.
Put Daniel Jones on Cleveland. Daniel Jones and Jalen.
What the fuck I do to you, Curtis? Wait, hold on now. No, you going too far now. What I do to you?
No,
put Daniel Jones on me. I told him to stop it. Okay, like, all right. I'm gonna put Daniel Jones back on y'all.
Dennis was like, we about to sign Daniel Jones, man. I was like, hey man, could you imagine a Daniel Jones, Jalen Milroe quarterback? Hey, my fandom would be dead, bro. I couldn't do it.
It'd be that LeBron reacting to a trash beat meme song the whole year.
We do the pod every week, just get ready to talk about losses.
I hope we run the ball, bro.
Oh man, run the ball 50 times, please.
Every play.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, but who do you think you want to back him up if you get Jalen Milroe? You go with the vet like Zach Wilson?
Don't put that out there.
Well, maybe you trade up for Cam Ward. Wouldn't that be amazing? They gave us Geno in a trade up.
That would make me lose all faith.
In like, no way. Cam Ward.
Hey, you better relax. I've been seeing Cam get mocked to the Browns more often now.
Yeah, man. Look, I will deal with that when it happens, right? I wouldn't be excited about it, but I'll deal with it.
You know what I think is funny though?
But at least we wouldn't have traded up.
Or you know what I think is funny? I do think if the Browns had to pick a quarterback, if they actually did pick a quarterback, I think Andrew Berry would rather take Cam than Shedeur.
I wonder what Kevin would do. Because
I think Kevin wants Shedeur.
I think Kevin wants
Will Howard.
Yeah, I think Kevin would be like, let's just get some athletes. Let's get some guys in the run game. I could work with the young man. Yeah. Give me Kirk in a third round pick. I'm good. Okay,
oh man.
But yeah, they got to work out their dissonance. Now, who I think would be the apple of the Cleveland Browns' eye? We'll see. Matthew Stafford. Ooh, boy, I'm like, that feels like it would. That feels like the Browns would be like, oh, thank God we got blessed if they were able to get Matt Stafford and retain 2-33. Like, yeah, they would.
I said I'd give up 33.
I would
if I really had to. If I really had to.
Nah, you gotta give me a swap or something like that. I gotta be moving back to the second. I'm not about to give you my whole second for Matt Stafford when he like 38.
Because we need a quarterback so bad, dog. I'm like, man, we in a real bad position right now.
If he were 34, maybe I would definitely do it. But 38, that brother got 2 years left, and one of them years gonna go foul in the middle of it. So, how about 68? Okay.
So how about 68? I do it. No problem.
Greg Newsome and give us a fifth.
And give us a fifth.
We'll give you a young corner, former first round pick, 68. You giving us Matt Stafford, and then we gonna handle the contract. We good. That's a fair trade. It's a fair trade.
Somebody said Geno doesn't excite me at all. Let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something.
Can we address something? Go ahead.
Real quick. Let me tell you something, brother. I don't know if y'all understand the position that we are in here in Cleveland. You can't turn your nose up at Geno Smith. You can't turn your nose up at Matthew Stafford. Hell, man, we can't turn our nose up at Kirk Cousins at this point.
Absolutely cannot. Here is
right. You can't turn your nose up at none of these dudes.
Here's my frustration with how people are talking about quarterbacks. It's like we forgot that the Browns could have probably been a 10-win team, but they just got mediocre out of quarterback all season.
I disagree with that. I don't think they wouldn't have been a 3-win team.
They wouldn't have been a 3-win team. I think if they would have got like just what they got slightly better than what they got out of James, they would have been a much better team. I mean, they almost beat Philadelphia. Like, you look at them games they lost with Deshaun Watson, it's like, dog, they just had an NFL level quarterback in here. Which brings me to my main point. Hey, man, our quarterback room for the bulk of 2024 was not NFL quality. Like Jameis played a couple games and he was at the bottom of NFL quality. But like Deshaun was not an NFL quality quarterback, and DTR was not an NFL quality quarterback. And the boy we let play the last game of the year was not NFL quality.
Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, the Zap man. Jameis is the only one that played at NFL quality. And when Jameis was out there, we got 500 yards on offense. I don't think the offense is that broken. Like, is it perfect? No. Are we going to lead the league in offense next year? No. But if you get somebody who can competently run Kevin's system, stay healthy, and they play out there, the upgrade to this team is going to be immense. I think we're undervaluing just how important getting somebody who's not amazing. And Geno Smith doesn't have to excite you at quarterback, but you know what? Geno Smith going to be routinely competent. And that, going from that to being sub NFL quality to the worst EPA per plays to play in the NFL this year, played in the quarterback room for the Cleveland Browns. Going from that to that would be a significant boost to this team. And you would feel it immediately. Like, people can poo-poo on Kirk Cousins all they want. First time they see that shit in the preseason, I promise you, some people, well, I didn't know he was going to look like that. He looks better than he did. Like, because we have lost the fact that it's like, hey, we aren't trying to upgrade from a bad quarterback. We're trying to upgrade from disqualifyingly bad quarterback play.
The worst quarterback play in the league.
Brother, this team won games with PJ Walker, and we couldn't replicate that level of quarterback play last year. That is how bad it was. We won games with old-ass Joe Flacco and PJ Walker last year. Could not replicate that level of quarterback play. If we were simply able to replicate that level of quarterback play, which is not high, the team would have been significantly better. If we would have got somebody who was competent, they would have won 10 games.
Like, bro, just go back and watch the pod after the Commanders game, whatever that was. Like, that's the level of quarterback play we was getting.
Some of the worst quarterback play
we've ever seen. As Browns fans. Like, it was that bad.
Yeah. Let's get the super chats on screen so we can head out. I think Curtis had a mouse, so we want to do this manually.
No, I'm only here for like a little bit. I can do a couple of them. I'm about to bounce.
All right, bet.
Okay, all right. Okay, this first one's from Ray Rags. Colb, you didn't have to do me like that in a reply yesterday, man.
No, it sounded like he did. You the homie, Ray Rags, but nah.
Have y'all here looking crazy, right? Looking crazy.
Nah, I understand why you took it up the level, but that you should have just, before you hit send, said, do I need this today? do I need to do this today? No.
All right, the next one is from Ray Rack again. Cole, we need to get this anti-JJ Jr. depoy case out into the masses. This dude can really win the award over Mobley.
Man, we might have to do a regular video and just put it on the channel about how Evan Mobley needs to be Defensive Player of the Year. And it's crazy if he wins. If he doesn't win. We might have to put that. We might have to just put that out.
I think he'll be pretty safe to win it because the Cavs are going to probably have the best record in the NBA, and somebody got to win an award, right? Like, somebody got to be of the year on that team.
So I got to, you know what? We'll find some time to do that because I got to rant about Jared Jackson Jr.
And look, the Cavs play goddamn every game on national TV for the rest of the season now. So people these takes will update about Evan Mobley as we have seen them update in real time. People are like, damn, Evan's good. In that Memphis game, like, oh yeah, just wait.
I don't know who that dude was, like Nate Jones on the NBA, like Nate Jones or whatever. He's like an agent or whatever. I tweeted that Evan Mobley's definitely better than Jared Jackson Jr. He's like, absolutely. Like, he's definitely better. He's like, Jared just got featured more until this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Like, that's literally all it is.
Let's get to the next one.
Ray Rags with another one. I think he's talking about JJ. He can't get a respectful amount of rebounds for his height, and it's only up by 0.1 on blocks per game on a foul and a half more a game while averaging 3 rebounds less.
So he fouls more. He fouls significantly more than Evan. He doesn't really protect the rim. He doesn't protect the rim better than Evan at all. Like it's the same. It's the same at best. It's the same, and he don't grab rebounds. Keep in mind, Evan shot 8 threes because that's the argument that everybody makes for Jaren Jackson Jr. is he shoots a bunch of threes. That's why he can't grab rebounds. Evan shot 8 threes in that game. He had 13 rebounds.
Because he's like that.
So, what is the argument? What is the argument here? What Jared be doing is egregious to me. Like, how are you 7 feet tall? You can't at least grab 8 rebounds a game.
That's crazy.
He had 3 rebounds in the game where the Cavs had 22 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, Evans going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
That shit is egregious, bro. This shit is egregious to me.
We got next one.
Yeah, this is my next one. I'm about to head on out. When he fully gets into the strength he could have with that amount of talent, he gets even more confident in his game. I see why he said he can see him and wouldn't be running the league. I think he's referring to Evan Mobley.
Yes, he is. That was a crazy quote from Evan.
I like that shit.
I love that. I love that though.
He says,
if you don't believe in you, how am I supposed to believe in you?
Hey man, I see the vision.
You say it's me and Wemby.
By the way, you ever watch Kevin Garnett talk about him? Because I watch Kevin Garnett. I'm like, that boy want to coach Evan Mobley so bad.
He want to work out in the offseason with him so bad. Like, man, I need one offseason.
He's like, I just need to get that dog in him.
Oh man, I was like, he said it's me and Wemby. He said no.
Hey, look, it's coming too. Because like all Evan was waiting on was for that weight to catch up, and he's not even waiting on the weight anymore. He's like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna go through.
He moving people now. Space. He moving people out, dog. Like he moving people out the way.
Yeah, wait till he get his grown man weight. Oh yeah, it might be over with. Over with. If he's able to have his grown man weight and still retain his defensive ability on the perimeter, yeah, Cavs might win a championship too.
Adam said Evan Mobley is diagnosed as freaky deaky, according to the American Psychiatric Association. Oh, freaky deaky is funny.
Ridiculous. Thoughts on Nick Chubb hitting the market? We kind of covered this already. I hope they get him back. What combine stories are y'all locked into?
Anything with the Titans.
Nah, it's gonna be a lot of smoke there. I want to see what is Cam Ward. He's doing the drills.
He is doing the drills.
I want to see what he tests like. I expect him to test fine. Will Howard's the one I'm like, oh, I wonder what that 40 actually is. I wonder what that 3-cone actually is.
Hey, make sure y'all listen to 92.3 because there was an Albert Breer interview, where he said he specifically mentioned the Titans signing Darnold and then drafting at Dua at 1 if they can't trade the pick. If they can't trade the pick. Shout out my dog Mac Robinson for letting me know.
Hey man, don't it feel like nobody want to take a quarterback right now?
It feels like it's weird. It's weird. It feels like the teams that people think would take quarterbacks in the top 2 are both trying to get out of those picks.
You know what it is? I had the wrong player when I said it's kind of like drafting Anthony Bennett. Same draft. It feel like Norless Noel.
Yeah.
Whereas like everybody's like, oh, that's gonna be the guy, right? That should be the guy. And then the draft came, everybody like, nah.
Nah, we good.
Bro, like, you think that's KD? Like what people thought Norless Noel is like what Evan Mobley ended up being in the league. But it's like it feels like that. Like people are wanting this thing to be what it could have been, but it's just not.
It's so funny because then you heard like the Jets talk about how they were open to moving the pick. The Giants talking about how they were open to moving the pick. You see how
the rush is backwards though, right? Everybody talk about trading back.
Like the Raiders talking about like being open. But this is the thing though. They said they're open to moving.
Top 20.
Yes, he did.
and had Shador going 7th.
Yes. Doug, I've heard that somebody say that they don't think the first quarterback would get picked until 6.
I don't think that would shock me.
Like people they do not want these QBs.
And like
except the Raiders.
You think the Raiders want them?
Yeah, I think the Raiders would. I think the Raiders are taking the QB no matter what.
I think the Raiders might trade for Geno.
I think they might too. The Pete Carroll's the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Some people are like they're gonna bring back Russ. I'm like, I don't know if that's not the relationship.
One of the two.
Well, I don't think him and Russ ended on good terms.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Geno.
Remember, Pete traded him. Pete was the GM. And Russell was the one who requested it. And what was it? Pete that was like, okay, we will gladly trade you. Which I mean, like again, can't feel great. The only other time with the refs that bad was the Mavs. He talking about the Sacramento thing. The Mavs Heat Finals 06. The refs got mad at Mark Cuban for talking shit about them at the game 5, and people forgot that he was fined $250K for yelling at the refs.
Yeah, and D Wade was shooting free throws the entire series. Hella free throws the entire series.
Hey, made them.
Made all of them. All of them hoes.
Made them shits. All right, the next one. With how much time he spends in the pocket, just pay him like a quarterback.
Talk about Miles.
I mean, he gonna get something like a quarterback. Ray Rag says, well, in the next 2-3 weeks, we'll see if the Browns will be in on a quarterback in the draft. I don't see them drafting a QB at 2. If they trade for or sign one that's a backup. Again, this is the big indicator. I'm like, hey man, do we need to worry about where quarterback's going to go? Is the energy static in the top 5 or aggressive in the top 5, or is the energy super passive? This seemed like one of them super passive years. It was like that in 2022.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we might move back. Everybody trying to trade their pick, right? 2013, everybody tried to trade back. Like it feels like one of them years was like, hey, why is everybody trying to trade back? Right? Trade back or take this player, right? Because everybody has the same thought, which is, well, maybe somebody likes one of these quarterbacks. But if everybody trying to trade back, Cole, if everybody having the same thought, maybe it ain't gonna be no suckers.
We gonna see.
Yeah, and even if like the Raiders want to get one, they realize everybody been calling them about trading up. Everybody who needs a quarterback been calling the damn Raiders like, hey, you want this pick? So if you're the Raiders, what you thinking? Ain't nobody about to draft him. We see it. Everybody ahead of me to call me, asked about him, asked about this pick, asked me what I'm willing to give up. They ain't trying to draft him.
Nah, bro, they not.
So why would the Raiders trade up? Even if you think the Raiders are stupid, which, like, again, Mark Davis, sucker, right? For sure. But come on, man, they ain't that stupid. Like,
the only other team that I could see making a leap is the Giants.
I don't think
because everything coming out of there feels like they are desperate to get a QB.
I don't think they want to.
We gotta make this move for a quarterback desperate.
I don't think they want to do it. The only thing that makes me feel like they could do it is they did clear Daniel Jones out there pretty quick.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I was like, okay, like they feel like the team that's going to trade up. If there's a team that's going to trade with the Titans, it feels like it's the Giants.
Yeah,
it feels like that's the Giants.
Maybe
the Jets get a little frisky, but we'll see.
No, I think the Jets are going to be gun shy. I think a lot of these teams are going to be gun shy. Because these just aren't quarterbacks that you get excited about, man.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out soon. Might find out by the end of the week.
All I'm saying is, look, I've been through this story before. Every year at the end of the draft, at the end of the regular season, oh yeah, all the mocks got every quarterback going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But then all of a sudden we get closer to the draft and them quarterbacks start to move further and further away from the top 5. Now we hearing shit that they might not even be in the top 7. Like, I think I understand what the phenomenon is, Cole. Hey, man, conventional wisdom tells you quarterbacks going early, but then you watch them. Okay.
Wow, bro.
The news break?
Deanna Taurasi officially retired.
Oh, she finally retired?
For over 20 years.
Hey, man, I knew she was retired when we got Brittany Griner on the Dream. Shout out to my Dreamers, man. We might be decent this year, Cole. I'm excited. I'm about to get season tickets. Watch the Dream. Did you watch the 1-on-1 at Unrivaled?
No, I gotta go back and watch the highlights.
Go watch it.
I've been doing it, but I gotta go back and watch that.
Worth it. Go watch it. 100% worth it. Especially whenever Skylar Diggins Smith is in there. Angry. She play angry, dog.
So angry.
Yes, bro. She plays the way she plays is like, what if somebody had Pat Bev's attitude but was good?
Bet.
Bro, she one game she just hard fouled somebody. It was a start too. I'm like, damn, what's going on? Like, is it beef? Setting the tone. I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? Skylar Diggins Smith, I wasn't familiar with your game. Also, you go get familiar with Nafisa Collier when you watch some highlights. Yeah, she's really good. Favorite running back duo, Kyle Mann and Caleb Johnson.
Kyle Manungai.
Oh, Kyle Manungai.
Manungai. That's how you say Kyle Manungai, Caleb Johnson. I always draft Caleb Johnson. And then day 3, it just depends on who's actually there. Because sometimes you know how you be wanting to draft dudes, and in the simulator they be gone.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's LaQuint Allen from Syracuse. Sometimes it's
good pass protector.
Good pass. Like sometimes it's sometimes I take Caleb and I take Jordan James.
Here's where I'm landing. Trey and DJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Trey and DJ.
Okay.
The DJ can run wide zone, out the gun, big body, get you that short yardage stuff. And then Trey, do everything else. Pass protect, you know he got that.
Man, I draft him strictly off that.
Yeah. Run block it. We'll run route running. He can do it. He's a great athlete. He'll be able to figure it out. And decent enough zone eyes to where he'll be able to get through a situation. And then, think about it like this. I think it's a perfect situation to work somebody into, because if you bring back Nick Chubb, then you don't even have to rush DJ Gittins out there. Like, you might want to even go younger, like a Jadon Blue or something like that, right? If you bring back Nick Chubb, because you're probably going to have that dude take 1 or 2 carries a game. And you have Nick Chubb in there, first, second down, and then Trey coming in on third. Yeah, I could live with that.
I could live with that.
I could live with that for a while. That would be fine for me. There's a lot of combinations. Miles is like Kobe before they got Powell.
Facts.
Hey, bro, just give me my money.
Threatening to leave to say he want to go.
Mm-hmm.
They traded for Powell. We never forget. We don't even remember. We don't even remember.
About to be Powell.
we don't even talk about none of that stuff anymore.
I wonder what, I really wonder what changed the tone of these discussions.
Because it flipped a little bit. We'll flip a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit what I know. I'll tell you a little bit what I know. We'll be done with the live.
Mm-hmm, right. It's interesting, right? It is a interesting 2 days. I would never forget the play. Watson had 5 players wide open. Bro, I would never forget the route combinations.
It ran the ball for 3 yards. Give Washington. Geno is 100% more excited. Yes, facts. Geno is 100%
that play.
It
was Dagger on the left side, right? It was a Dagger concept. No, yeah, it was Dagger on the left side, and he had a corner route on the other side, and he had 2 players in flat. And he ran the ball for -3 yards. Oh
no. He got 3 yards. He got 3 yards.
Yes,
he got
on
3
third
yards.
like 10.
He got 3 yards, even though everybody
was fucking open. You know what? When they had that report where it was like, the Browns didn't get on Deshaun publicly like they got on Jameis, I'm like, one, they did. I'm telling you right now, Kevin didn't like that motherfucker. 2, that had something to do with it, right? He was definitely tougher on Jameis than he was with Deshaun, but also, you know what play I know they talking about? That same one. I know they think, bro, they didn't even bring that play up a team, right? Like,
I can't believe it.
I would have got fired.
Fired,
bro.
100% I would have got fired.
I would have got fired. I don't got the patience.
Because there's no way you expect me to deal with this and be okay.
I'm like, no, I don't even want to ask you what you saw. I don't even want to ask you what you saw, dog.
Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, dog. Oh, man.
I'm glad that didn't get viral enough to where Quincy Avery felt the need to gaslight us about how, you don't know real quarterback play. They're not actually open. Like, yes, they are.
I was like, we'll watch the whole play. We'll put the whole play on here. Right now. I'm like, let's look through it right now.
Hey, bro, does Jalen Hurts throw that? Because I think Jalen Hurts throws that.
Did Geno throw that?
Yeah, I think Geno throws that.
Who else you trade? Jordan Love, he throw that?
Yeah, Jordan Love throws that. Does Kirk Cousins throw it? Yes. He at least throws the fucking check down. Okay.
Man, Jalen fucking Milroe would have threw the ball.
I don't know where it would have been, but it would have been thrown.
He would have threw it. He would have threw it somewhere. Guarantee he would have threw it somewhere.
I wonder what Jameis was thinking when he saw that shit on the iPad. Ooh.
Hey, man, no question. Jameis getting that fucking ball out.
Jameis throwing the 9, dog. Like, he ain't supposed to throw the 9. He throwing the 9. Okay, like
it was open.
Hey, it was there.
Like it was open.
You know what? It does pop into my mind. The Elijah Moore stopped running those 9s like he was actually about to run them when Jameis got in there, and it just popped into my mind that might have been intentional because they were like, "Hey, Jameis, you can't do that."
Hey. He gonna throw that bitch.
Because Jameis will throw the 9 on that.
He will throw that bitch. I promise you he'll throw that bitch.
And I'm like, I bet that's why I was getting on Elijah for like dog walking them fucking routes. I'm like, I think he was told that. Like, don't even look like you're an option.
Oh man.
Hey, bro, this is why I think Kevin's gonna get to pick whoever the quarterback's gonna be this year. Because I'm pretty sure, man, I'm just reading tea leaves here, that Kevin feels like he's owed one after dealing with that thing last year.
Probably.
Because not only was he dealing with Deshaun and a rookie, well, a second-year player, the alternative was Jameis Winston. That man signed Bailey Zapp to get solace. He was like, let me get Bailey Zapp here and get some peace. That's how down bad he was.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
I feel like he gonna be in that draft room, and Andrew gonna be like, I don't know, man. I kind of like Jalen Milroe here, and Kevin gonna be like, God damn it, you owe me.
Nah, not full like slamming the head.
No, he's gonna be like, God damn it, you owe. He's so patient, and he gonna pop a vein. He be like, you're not gonna do this to me no more, man.
Domo said if Malachi Starks falls to Minnesota, Cleveland has to move up to get him. Domo loves Malachi Starks. He loves Malachi Starks. I get it. He is a safety. He's good though. He's really good. Probably the best safety in the draft. Him or dude from South Carolina.
I just don't think you should be drafting safeties, trading up for safeties. But I
think it's low key. I think it's a deep safety class too.
Yeah, Lathan Ransom's back there. Kevin Winston's there. Makuba.
Watts.
Yeah, you can wait.
You could wait if that's what you want to do. But I get it though. Malachi Starks, he's good. Like he's good.
Jahad Ward feels like a better bet every week.
Listen, I'm always pro take good players.
Hey man, I ain't got nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Q, when he's officially gone, we need to watch that play again just for the fun of it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put that shit behind that Sarah McLachlan. It's gonna be, I will remember you. Throw the fucking ball. Will you remember me?
Yeah, we gonna have fun with that. We're gonna have fun with that one.
We're gonna put a best of the Deshaun Watson there. Like the peak's gonna be, hey man, remember that show we did right before he told his shit? Yep.
Oh man. Hoping for more positive. Hopefully we get more positive pods this time around.
Hey bro, if we just get a year without having to see him on the sideline, be good. Be good.
Oh wait, Domo with maybe the most important super chat of the day. Hurts fired him as a QB. He did fire him.
Hey, you tell me if that won a ring too this year, didn't he?
Oof.
Oof. Hey, bro, I wouldn't blame him. Like, he associated so hard with Deshaun Watson too, and I'm like, man, people be wondering what you did to that man for them 2 years he wasn't playing football.
Yeah. That's.
We got any updates from Deshaun Watson? I forget he plays for the team.
What's the update? He tore his Achilles. 3 months after he tore it first time.
He is the most fired dude with a job I've ever seen. Because it's like nobody's acting like he still works here. Every single leader on the team was like, we just got to get quarterback figured out.
Because he don't work here.
I'm like, everybody just acting like he don't work here. I'm like, yeah, because he don't.
You don't. He's here.
You think Deshaun key card work, or you think he got to register for parking? Because I think he got to register for parking.
I'm sure his key card still works. I'm sure he can, park and do all that other good stuff.
Nah, he got to put the guest pass in.
He is not going to be here. He is not going to be here.
No, Deshaun.
It is what it is.
Deshaun key card don't work, and they gaslight him at the front desk talking about you must have messed up the magnet. Put your pin pad in.
He is never going to take a snap for the Cleveland Browns ever again. It's done.
You ever hear people tell stories about how they fire people with tenure in college universities?
No.
Okay, so like it's hard to fire somebody with tenure, right? It's like a really great benefit that they bargain for. So the way they fire you if you got tenure is they start doing shit to make your life difficult, right? Like all of a sudden your parking spot get moved. All of a sudden the elevator in the building don't work no more, right? And they move your classroom to a hotter building when they know you got asthma. Like that's the games that they play to try to fire you if you got tenure. Like if they really want you out the paint because they can't just straight up fire you. Yeah, man, Deshaun gonna start seeing some weird stuff. Like, hey, man, why are they renovating just this area where my parking spot used to be? Like, oh man, y'all renovating the locker room? Why is it just my locker that looks like it's being renovated?
Wait, we got a new super chat from Ray Rags. We got a new super chat from Ray Rags. He said, literally every interview with a player not named Miles, they say we're one piece away. I wonder what that. Hey, he's not lying though. Like a ton of them said that too.
Every single one of them.
They said two things. We need to go back to the offense we were running with. We need to go back to Kevin's offense,
which is away from what Deshaun does. and we need to figure out quarterback.
But they didn't say it explicitly. They would say things like, we need to run an offense that works for everybody.
No, man. Denzel straight up said it. He said, we need to figure out quarterback 3 times.
Denzel did say that publicly. He did say that publicly.
David
he also
said it twice.
He also said that he don't want to leave. Like, he's like, I want to be in Cleveland.
Yeah, man. We bring back Miles, and we just got to handle this quarterback situation real quick. Everybody knows that man don't work here no more.
Come on, man. We good. We got it. We gonna figure it out.
Yeah, bro, he could rehab in LA. Yeah, do you?
Somebody said Greg said it too.
That's crazy because Greg might not work here. Okay, yeah, and Njoku said it. Literally anybody. Nick Chubb alluded to it, dog, and he don't talk.
They all know, everybody in that building knew it. And the Zach Jackson piece where he was talking about like everybody knew how the season was going to go before the season even started. Like stuff like that is crazy. Stuff like that.
I'm telling you, just inject a little bit more hope in there at quarterback. The team's going to be completely different. But also, Joe Batonio was like, yeah, this Miles thing that was another interesting one, right? Because that quote happened over the weekend where they asked Joe Batonio, hey, does this Miles thing determine whether you're going to retire or not? No, I don't really factor in. That's not what's going to change my mind on this. But you know what will? We're bringing back 4. I'm retired, bro. Fuck this, okay? No. He will sacrifice his body for Jacoby Brissett, okay? He will sacrifice his body for Kirk Cousins. He will sacrifice his body for literally anybody else. But if he got to do one more goddamn season of Deshaun Watson, he's done.
Just go get Kirk, man.
Hey, man. You know what? I think they can send the message. Who wears number 4 in this draft?
Hey, no. Look at Doma's last super chat. Look at the last super chat.
You see the shot out there practicing in 14? Yeah, they trying to send a message.
It's over.
That ain't even a message for Deshaun Watson. That's a message for everybody else. Damn, dog, they took his number? Damn. Everybody else will be like, dog, it's cold. Give his number to some free agent too, like some undrafted free agent. Like, yeah, you can wear 4.
It's just business. It's not personal.
Hey,
it's a little personal. I'm
about to say with Baker, they let 6 sit for a year, and then JOK took it. With 4, it's like, bro, once he gone, who wanted? Or we keeping it warm for Jeremiah Smith?
Oh man, that's right.
We gonna retire and say it's Evan Mobley's number. Nobody in Cleveland gets to wear 4. Like, pull some bullshit like that. Out of respect to Evan Mobley, we're moving Deshaun off number 4. Oh shit!
We just don't feel
tired. They gonna have my man out there 24. No, he can't wear 24. What you gonna wear?
Hey, he absolutely cannot wear fucking 24.
What's the most swagless number he can rock out there? Like what? 9? Nope, can't wear 19. Absolutely cannot wear 19. 18 gonna be Kirk Cousins if he here. Oh, what? He gonna be out there in the No, Brian Sipe. He can't be in the 60. Josh Cribbs.
Somebody said 55.
My man gonna be out there in the 0. Greg Newsom's still here. He can't even wear 0.
What's the ugliest number we can think of
for a quarterback?
29.
Nah, you can't wear 29 as a quarterback though. It's still 1 through 20. Oh, he's 1 through 19.
1 through 19.
Yeah, it's still 1 through 19. So. He can't wear 1. Well, he might wear 1.
1 is available now.
Yeah, 1 is available. No, he gonna get 17. He gonna get DTR's old number.
Oh yeah, DTR. Yeah, that's gonna be available too.
Because DTR gonna be gone.
Yeah. That's done. That's done enough with.
Yeah. PTR. He'll be rocking that 17 or that 16. Give him 17 because that's the number Baker Mayfield had to rock, right? Like when he hit rock bottom, he had to wear that swagless 17.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'll wake up something in him. Yeah. Hey, he gonna have to wear a swagless number if he want to stay in the league because he definitely gonna be like, oh, let's bring him in for a camp. Like that's the furthest his career gonna go.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, ain't nobody changing their number for that. Hey. It's so crazy how fast it went downhill, Cole.
Hey, just another part of Browns lore.
Mm-hmm. Someone said draft Makuba, let him wear it with pride.
Absolutely.
With pride. And then you know what's going to be even more annoying for him? Let him come on the sideline. Makuba out here making plays. Yeah, 4. Loud as hell. That's how you make a play, 4. Hey, you wear that shit, 4.
Nah, you wearing that. You're wearing that is you just being a dickhead now.
You shot on that sideline like, okay.
You just being a dickhead now. You wearing that?
Yeah, 4. Yeah, doing this.
Oh man.
Hey man, they did the same shit to Baker, and they did not sacrifice as much as they had to. Like, we got any more super chats?
Nah, that's it.
Someone's gonna say 4's up. Yeah, they might give his number away. That'd be the ultimate, like, hey, bro, get him out of here. Just make his number post June 1st cut 2025. Like, well, 2026 post June 1st cut. Because he basically a dead man walking. Anything to say before we head out, man?
Shout out to everybody. Shout out chat. You know we love y'all. Shout out Steel Toe Gang. Shout out service workers. Shout out the Uber drivers, Lyft drivers. Can't really shout out the Waymos because nobody's in a Waymo.
Is that the Chinese like messaging?
No, Waymos are like it's kind of like Uber or Lyft, but it's like completely automated. So there's nobody in the Waymo. So it's like a self-driving. It's like a self-driving car. Yeah, Future's here.
Nah, I ain't trying to do that.
It definitely looked creepy. It definitely was. It definitely was looking creepy.
Hey, bro, I'd rather be in the car with a person. Okay, it doesn't inconvenience me that much for another human to be in a car.
It's technically significantly safer.
They said that about like airplanes. Now what happened there?
It's still significantly safer than driving in your car.
I agree with that, but you know what's safer than all of that shit? I'd rather take the train. Nah, I'm not.
I'm about to say,
train safe? Passenger train. Yeah, freight train not safe. Passenger train safe. Amtrak is safe.
Yes, Amtrak is safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who else needs to shout out? Shout out Browns fans. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Cavs and the Cavs fans. Shout out the Lakers because they playing the Mavs today. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, in Dallas?
I think they're playing in Dallas here.
It's going to be one of them games where, hey, look, man, we lived through this. Remember we were trying to avoid the Browns having to play the players going to come out this game like fuck them fans games?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I'm sitting every starter. Like,
somebody said Luka 50 ball. God, I hope so.
And you know he going to put up 50 on the Mavericks, and then the Maverick fans are going to be like, MVP, Luka Doncic. Everybody gonna be like, hey man, we supposed to be trying to beat them. Let the Mavericks go on a 10-0 run in that game. They're gonna get booed.
Oh, the game's in LA. Yeah, they about to be forcing him shots.
Oh yeah. Oh, the game's in LA.
They about to be
Do they play him in Dallas? Do they play him in Dallas? I
have to check. Oh, Adam said, shout out to Toriyama for making Super Saiyan 4 Goku canon. Yes. We got Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And we got Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta in the new Dragon Ball. Yeah. We was eating good.
Oh,
we was eating good this week.
So did we get Super Saiyan 3 Trunks?
I wish. Maybe in the second part of Super. Nah, he usually goes like Super Saiyan 2. That's about it. That's about as far as it goes.
Okay. How's Gohan doing?
Chilling.
Is the Master Roshi got a Super Saiyan form?
No, he does not.
Ah.
The fact that you know who Master Roshi is hilarious.
Yeah, man. Look, I still grew up in the 2000s. Okay, like Dragon Ball Z was inescapable. Like, even if you didn't watch it, so many people watched that shit.
I was like, you know who Master Roshi is? Okay, cool.
On the east side of Cleveland, you know Dragon Ball Z did numbers on the east side of Cleveland during our childhoods. Like, yeah, of course. Had no choice.
Oh yeah, and for since you keep ducking your anime watching because you think JJK is weird, and I get it. I completely understand why. We talked about it.
I don't think.
I get it. Watch Solo Leveling. That's not weird at all.
That just sounds disturbing.
No, it's not. The fights are crazy.
See, I'm not a big. I think this is why I don't like anime as much. I'm not an action guy.
You got to give this one a chance.
I just don't. I'm not really into act, like, especially like in movies. Like I like the action, like in wrestling, when I know you doing it live, like in person, like this shit's like an athletic feat. I don't really like action movies and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not.
These Solo Leveling fights, they get crazier every fucking week. Like, I'm sitting there like, oh my god, how they gonna top this? And then they top it.
I like sci-fi. Like, you got any time traveling anime?
There's a ton.
Yeah, but is it all like to a reference point? I don't like time travel to the future. I'm just coming up with excuses at this point.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you just making something up. Is there time travel? Yes. Is there this? Yes. Oh man.
Solo Leveling is awesome. I just the name, man. Why is it called Solo Leveling?
Watch it.
All right.
Watch it.
I will.
You'll find out pretty quick.
It's on my list. I still got to get through half the season of Squid Games. I started Severance. Don't say nothing. I went into it blind. Me and my girl watching it. We watching it blind.
Severance. The best show on TV.
We watching it blind, So
and watch Paradise on Hulu too.
Mm-hmm. So I've been doing that. I got a backlog I'm trying to get through. Okay, I thought somebody recommended me One Piece. I know good and goddamn that not to do that. Nah.
Yeah, I gotta get through that still.
So
I'll get through One Piece. I'll get through One Piece one day.
Time travel is disgusting. I'm sick of it in film.
Fair.
I mean, when it's done right.
Marvel kind of destroyed the whole like multiverse time traveling thing.
No, I think if they just did it better.
That's why I said they destroyed it.
Yeah.
That's why they destroyed it.
But like, I don't mind it.
Oh yeah, Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is time traveling anime. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Dr. Stone? Is that like through like Stone. Do I get to learn about history? Or is it
you actually do he's actually a genius, so you do actually like learn different stuff.
They got an anime equivalent of Sliders.
What's Sliders?
You ain't never seen Sliders? Sliders is a show. See, look, I don't know about anime. Let me tell you about some of the deep lore of the sci-fi television community, Cole. Sliders is a show where somebody unlocks the ability to jump through parallel universes. So every episode exists in a different parallel universe because he's trying to jump through these universes to end up home. It came on in the 90s. It's really good. It's episodic. I like episodic television. And it's just a fun sci-fi concept every week of what if this universe was like this? What if they was in Planets of the Apes? That's the world they jumped in this week. It's kind of like, you ever watch Doctor Who?
Yes.
It's like that, but they're trying to jump through different universes to get home.
Okay.
And it's got all the great 90s sci-fi story cheese if you like that. Like I like old Star Trek, so like that stuff's right up my alley.
All right.
But yeah, if you got anything like that in anime, I'll watch that.
Somebody said sounds like isekais. There's a whole genre of anime called isekai where the main character like starts off in their universe, and usually what happens is they end up dying in their universe, and then their soul gets reincarnated into another universe that's like a fantasy universe, or it could be a futuristic universe, something, and then they have to and then they live out their life in the new universe. It could be a lot sometimes, but the best ones are the ones that make fun of the genre.
But see, in order to appreciate that, I would probably have to watch some of the more
serious ones
at that.
Yeah. And then you get into the ones where it's like
that's a whole
right? Like then you get to like Konosuba where they're like where it just is completely like making fun of the entire genre of anime, and it's the funniest shit in the world. Like it ends up being like one of the best ones just because it's hilarious. That time I got reincarnated as a slime is one of them. Yeah.
Somebody said, "Am I going to watch Andor season 2?" Absolutely. I'm slacking on my Disney Plus queue because I still got to watch the Spider-Man show.
I got to watch the Spider-Man show too. I heard it's not bad.
I'm gonna chug through that. What if I heard it wasn't great? But you know what? I've watched the first 2 seasons. I might as well. You know. And what else? Was there another Marvel show? Oh, Daredevil about to come out. That looked good.
Yeah, I gotta catch back up on Daredevil before the new season comes out.
I didn't watch the last season of The Boys either, but
I didn't finish it because it was just too much for me.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be something that like I didn't want to watch it because I was like, ugh, man, not really in the mood for that kind of a story right now. And I feel like I'd be less in the mood for that kind of a story right now.
Domo, you finished One Piece?
That was the most random. Wow, I didn't expect that.
Ooh,
he finished the One Piece.
Man, see, this is the thing though, because I feel like people who finish One Piece were always watching One Piece and like were always watching it regardless. Man, I might have to like lock in and see if I can get done.
Oh, you ain't finished One Piece?
Man, I've only gotten through like 250 episodes of like 1,200.
Of only.
And the new season.
Good luck, man. You do that shit in like fucking 10 years.
Man, I gotta try to like chug along and get through.
You ever realize that shit just was like, I didn't realize how much 30,000 points was until LeBron got it. And I was like, damn, 20 years? And he only got 30,000 points? Like, oh shit. Yeah. Q might like stains. All right. I'm just going to recommend anime. Yeah. All right. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate y'all. My sister told me to be nice to you anime people, so I'm gonna try to be nice to you anime people. Shout out to Curtis. Appreciate Curtis producing behind the scenes. Shout out Steel Toe Gang. Shout out Union Gang. Shout out all my carpenters. Shout out people who level floors.
Facts.
That's tough.
That is tough.
That's tough. You know what I mean? Shout out all my artists out there who love the long run times of these videos because y'all just be out there doodling. I don't know what y'all call it. Y'all be out there drawing. Y'all just need some shit in the background. I appreciate you choosing us to be your shit in the background for the last 3 hours. Even if you do draw anime, which I'm sure Colb appreciates a lot more than me. Anybody else that we forgot to appreciate?
Shout out chat. Shout out all the subscribers. Shout out all the people who fuck with us. Shout out the Blue Sky users. Because we don't shout out the Blue Sky users.
Absolutely. That's where I'll be at all the time. Somebody asked me to rank the Next Generation, Voyager, and Deep Space Nine. Season 3 through the end of Deep Space Nine is the best of that era of Star Trek. Then you have season 4 through 7 of Next Generation, which is the best of that show. So that's number 2. Then you have the rest of Deep Space Nine, which is after that. Then you have the rest of Next Generation, except for season 1. And then you have Voyager, and then you have season 1 of the Next Generation. And that is how you rank Star Trek.
I have no idea what you just said.
Hey, man, to the person who asked that question, all that shit made sense. Okay.
This how you feel when people ask me anime, when I be talking about anime here?
Yeah. Like you ain't. If I bring up Tuvox and Neelix, and I tell you about Tulix, you don't know what I'm talking about, do you? It's fucked up too. It's real fucked up, Cole. Or about how I think iguanas ended up making civilization. Yeah, man, Star Trek is some shit, but it's fun when you get into it. The new shit's not that great. Well, the new shit's cool. It's like the movie they just released sucked, and I don't like Discovery that much. It's too dramatic for me. I like episodic Star Trek, so I think Strange New Worlds is the closest to like really good Star Trek they got going out there, but they need to return. So yeah, see, look at the comments.
Say, damn, he really is Trekkie.
Yeah, bro, I watched it. Okay, you want me to put what was the one they did in 2000s with Archer? Because I watched that shit too. I watched all 5 seasons of that show, and it was pretty. It was background Star Trek, to be honest with you. But yeah, you know what I mean. Maybe that's the trade-off. Cole watches Star Trek. I watch anime. I'll tell you right now, season 1 of The Next Generation is rough, brother. I'll give you a skip list. Okay,
a skip list. See, I can get you a skip list for anime.
If you gonna get through Star Trek, bro, you need a skip list. Absolutely.
I can get you a skip list for anime. Easy.
Yeah, like, I realized that. I was trying to go through all 24 episodes. Or like some of these episodes were never meant to be seen again. Absolutely no. But y'all have a great day. Have a better night. Peace.